itself? Because I use that too sometimes.
Yeah, so I'll show you how to do that when we leave. So that's what I do there.
Because there's so many different things for that, and I'm like, I'll hit noise reduction.
I don't know how to do a lot of it. Some people say you can do the audio, like a balancing and stuff.
You probably can. There's a lot involved, but for a free app, it's not bad at all.
Not at all. So we'll get into a little bit of everything. So, hey everybody, this is Anthony with Interviews Everyday People. I don't know what to do with my hands. So this is interview. Oh my God, I'm getting terrible with this. I think it's 8. Dan Wowick was 7.
I was going to say, I think it's 6. Yeah, 6 or 7 just came out.
Yeah, so it's 8. So the interview 8 with Andy Header. So you've seen Andy before here with us. He does. We are getting really loud there with that. We're going to turn that down just a hair. Sorry about that, everybody. This is anti-professionalism. We're just learning here as we go.
We're live, pal.
We'll do it live.
Doesn't matter.
So we're here with Andy. You've seen him before on our wrestling show and our nerdy show, right?
I didn't get to do that yet.
You haven't done that.
I wanted to when I was a little sick. I'm just getting over that now. You can still hear it a little bit.
Yeah, but, so you'll be on the next one hopefully if your schedule's good, and you'll be on Thursday when we go live. You guys won't hear this there. By the time you hear this will already the wrestling show would have aired, and then this will come out Friday.
Oh, okay.
But so
that one's live, right?
Yeah, that one's live. Yes,
all the way live.
So we did say, just before we get into the interview, I just want to give the audience a little bit of update what's going on. So we've actually created groups for every show. So we have a group for, obviously the main page is for Interviews Everyday People. We're going to promote all the shows on there still. You're going to see all the links to everything you got to do. You're going to see all the advertisements for local business. So the groups is kind of like an inside access if you want to be technical. So we have a group chat that we talk in a lot. And we're going to kind of take our group chat and make that public, but not everything public. So when we talk about show details, that'll stay private. But we're going to kind of make it interactive so everyone can participate with us in the groups. If you have a story that you find on the internet and you want to share with us and get our take, share it to the group. If you want to talk to us, you want to ask us some questions, we might put some polls up, we might do giveaways. All that cool stuff will be done in the groups. So if you go to the Facebook page on the left hand side, you'll see a group tab. Just request whatever group you're into. If you like the wrestling, you like the MMA, if you like the things that weren't cool in high school, or if you like banging beers, all those groups have posts. If you like all of them, join them all.
If you like banging beers.
If you like banging beers. That was Ben. Ben didn't get his hodgepodge, so he got his banging beers.
Oh,
freaking Ryan, I did.
Yeah. So that is something to look forward there too. Sorry, Ben, I'm just gonna kick you there because I hear that little fan. We'll get you back in. I promise. But yeah, so you're gonna see all those groups, and definitely participate. Share it to your friends if you know friends that are into that stuff as well. Share it with them. We'll get them involved.
And like the main page too, right?
Yeah, the main page. That's doing very, very well. We're up to almost like 8, almost 8. We're coming close to 850.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the YouTube page is up to like 57, 58. So we're getting close to that 100 mark to get that name. To get that URL name. So for doing this for going on our 3rd or 4th month, not doing too shabby. No,
it's hard to get the likes, and especially on YouTube.
Yeah,
a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'll watch it," but I can't subscribe. And too busy to click one button.
Yeah, so hopefully by us doing our shows live on YouTube, that kind of generates more people to click that subscribe button. That's kind of our strategy. Sorry, we're gonna leave you a little. We're breaking the fourth wall here, but it's not as well, because I think the YouTube chat room, when you're live, and I think the YouTube quality of streaming looks better
than the
Facebook Live. So Facebook, you'll be watching it, for me anyway, and I'm trying to interact with the chat and doing it, and it doesn't scroll with the chat,
and then it will lag. Because my comic shop does that online auctions thing, and it will lag. So like someone will say, I bid 50, and then they're saying it, and like it's already up to 70 in the bid here.
Yep.
But the guy's like, okay, I see 50, and like, no, it's already. So it's
so the
tough.
Chat is. I don't like the chat when it comes to interaction. And then yesterday, right? Today's Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday. So yesterday I went to Harrisburg, and I went to a local venue called HMAC. Amazing venue. They get a lot of. They do a little bit of everything. They have all different types of music, plays, events. It's insane. So you first walk in.
Is that the Jewish Center or something.
It used to be I think some type of
a temple or something. And that's where Empire ran. Empire Wrestling, or whatever it was called. Yeah, it's like a religious building.
Yep. So you first walk in and there's a bar, restaurant, cool little piano. Then you walk in this back room and it's like a stage and it holds about 300 to 400 people. And they do smaller shows in there, like karaoke's, private bar in there too. So if you're going to see a venue, you don't have to walk out. Go to another bar to get a drink. They have it all right there. Then upstairs it has a bigger venue that holds about 1,500 people.
Ooh.
They had Alkaline Trio, I believe. No, I think he said Alkaline Trio was there. The flyer that was there now is Crash Test Dummies. So they're getting Crash Test Dummies. They had Buck Cherry there. So they had Crowbot played there. And maybe a band that we all know. Well, not all of us, but maybe there's a band coming very soon from someone that we've heard on the...
Well, 3 words. Don't want to spoil it.
Maybe 3 or 4 words, yeah. Yeah, so I don't want to give anything out too soon because it was something that was talked about there, but we'll say a band of someone who we did an interview with maybe showing up there. So we'll definitely, and I told them if we do it, our fan base and stuff here and the local people will definitely go out to Harrisburg and support it. It's an amazing venue. I was very, very, very pleased with it. So they're doing an artist mashup, which is like they take local artists and musicians and they're doing like R&B. It's more or less R&B and hip hop right now, but it is open to others. But they're just starting out. So they have like a lineup of they're called the heavy hitters, where it's like the people who are like the top artists in that area that were like polled, and they're all going. The artists don't pay anything to perform. It's pretty much they're showing up and doing and showcasing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much bringing everyone together. It's not like a battle. It's not like something that's trying to say I'm better than you. It's more or less getting the music in the local people together. It's kind of like it is an open mic, but it's more of a show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really, really cool how they're doing it. So we went there. A few of the artists came in, and we had it was like a round table. So like a guy sat down, I talked to him for 5 minutes, then he got up and left, and another guy sat down.
Cool.
It was so much fun. Yeah, and like then the business got really big, and it was like our first on-site live interviews. I had such a good time. I'm hoping to go back there very soon because they're doing a show in February. Then I might go out there again and do like a live show. So stay tuned to that. And everyone who showed up, thank you guys so much.
I should get that on that.
Yes, so that's what we're working on too. So
screen printing.
We may be making an appearance at the School County Brewfest.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not official yet, but we might be getting our own little venue, our little tent. And we're going to be doing an episode of Bangin' Beers at the School County Brewfest, and hopefully talk to people that are at the thing. And
I'm sure who wouldn't want to be? I'd like to talk about my beer and sell more of it.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll talk to some cool brewers. We'll talk to some people who are taking place in it, like people who are just paid their money to be there, and they can give us their reviews on beer. So it's going to be something we're gonna strive really hard to get that down and get that going. I don't know if that's going to be live, because we're going to shoot for a very long time. So that might be something we shoot and then go back and edit, and then that might be like a cut
up. Be a little bit better since I will be drinking a little bit.
Yeah, and it will be probably like a 6-hour long podcast. Yeah. I don't think anyone wants to listen to that.
That's like Between the Sheets. I don't know. There's an adult.
Joe Rogan's goes for like
sheets.
4 hours sometimes.
But sometimes it's 5 or 6 hours. Like I don't want to listen to Mid-South, for 6 hours.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, so I appreciate you coming in and doing this.
No problem.
So the way I was promoting a little bit was you've been on a tornado tag. Now we're going 1-on-1.
Oh, yeah. How about it?
Or it might be like a triple threat. It's like a triple threat. Ben might be like
the referee.
He's like the referee or the manager tonight. I don't know his role yet. He might.
Nikolai would have been. Well, Nikolai would have been the ref, I guess.
Yeah, Nikolai would have been ref, and then Ben would have been like the manager. He'd have been like buddy,
special guest enforcer,
brother love over there.
I think Nikolai would be a better manager than.
Put him on the mic.
Yeah. But what were you saying?
I think Nikolai would have been a better manager.
100%.
He would have been like a Jimmy Hart type.
He would have been a good ref though, because he's tiny, and he would have taken a small bump, and he would have been like laying out for a while.
Yeah, and it always looks good when you have a smaller ref.
Yeah,
like Nick Patrick was a big ref, and everyone was like, he's taller than the wrestler. So.
All right.
How much are we going to talk about wrestling this whole podcast? It's just not about me. It's just wrestling.
Yeah. So that's kind of my first segue here. How did you fall in love with wrestling? Like when? At what age? What was your match? What was your?
I tell people the first thing I can remember when I watched when I was a kid, I don't know, I was 6, somewhere around there. It was a tag match. I think it was a 6-man tag, so 3 versus 3. And the first guy I remember is Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Really?
So yeah, but he didn't become my favorite wrestler or anything like that. I mean, Hacksaw's all right.
Were your parents like? Did your parents push you into wrestling? Was it like?
No. See, I don't know who my dad is. No big deal. I don't care.
Okay.
So I lived with my mom my whole life, and she never apparently my great grandmother watched wrestling, but like, I don't remember her at all. I was too young. But my mom she used to go to Hamburg, and her favorite, she told me, was Tony Gurria. I don't know if you even know him.
No,
because he was like a good looking guy back in the day. He wasn't very good, but she'd go see the shows there, not religiously, not like me. So I don't know how I found it.
So she was into wrestling, but it wasn't something that she said, "Hey, this is what I like."
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, I'm not going to dive too much into, but you were single mother, raised just what your mother was, it like grandparents also?
Yeah, like I knew my grandmom and my grandfather, or obviously on my mom's side. So my dad's side, I don't know anybody. And I'm not like, you can't talk about it.
Is it something that you ever like looked into or asked?
Really?
Or?
And it's almost like I don't care. Like, maybe if I was a kid, I'd be like, hey, Dad. But now it's like, I don't really need it. Like, when are we going to send Christmas cards to each other and be like, hey.
You can send up one of your cool Christmas cards. Like, hey, Dad, here's me as a woman.
So, if I never meet him, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't care. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
So,
growing up, childhood-wise, like, how did you fit in with the others? Were you outgoing? Were you quiet, kept to yourself?
I don't... Somewhere, I'd say in the middle, probably. You know, I wasn't like, I can't talk right now. So I wasn't like that, but I was probably talkative, but not super talkative. You know.
Yeah. Now, have you always been into the wrestling, video games, comic, kind of what you're into now?
Yeah, my big four. So that's pro wrestling, heavy metal, comic books, and video games.
And just never grew out of it.
As long as
the same way.
And I never took a break or anything. That's what I always liked, and I figure if you like something, you like it all the time, and who cares?
Now, growing up, what would be some of your favorite shows that your earliest memories of shows and stuff you were into?
Like dorky stuff, well, aside from wrestling, but I didn't understand how TV worked. So, like, I didn't understand. Well, wrestling comes on every Monday at like 8. I didn't know that because when you're 7, you don't understand time. I couldn't even tie my shoe. So I remember He-Man and Transformers and G.I. Joe, Knight Rider, A-Team, and this one weird show that's really hard to find called Sledgehammer. It was like this guy. It was like a over-the-top detective. He had a really big gun. He had
I never heard of that
Magnum. Yeah, it ran for 2 seasons. I've been trying to get it on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
it's probably like terrible, but it was like goofy 80s. Like
I did the same thing
comedy.
too, where I try to find my youth again because I had a house fire, so I lost a lot of the stuff that I was into. Like I lost all my. But the funny thing is, a lot of the toys I had, my dad would be like, "I'll buy you all these toys" because he liked it. So like he was like, he got me all the Star Trek toys, and I hated Star Trek. But I had a Whoopi Goldberg action figure.
Here's Picard and Riker.
Yeah,
like, I'm not. I like
who's
Star
the guy
Wars
with the smushed forehead?
Worf? Or no, that weird looking.
Yeah,
okay,
Worf.
Yeah.
I had him. I had the guy with the white face, the Data.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever his name was, the guy with the cool Cyclops glasses. Like,
oh, yeah, Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, he was a Next Generation guy. My dad,
Geordie LaForge.
Yeah. And then my dad was in a NASCAR, so I had all the Matchbox NASCARs.
Here's Mark Martin, son.
Yeah, but I loved it. Like I was more into NASCAR than I was into Star Trek. But mine was like I loved Ninja Turtles was my thing. My dad was into wrestling, not super into wrestling, but he enjoyed it. But he kind of turned me onto it. So my dad was trying to make me a Hulkamaniac. And he would back when I was first growing up, it was the fan clubs were still a thing. Okay. So I was So when I was born, my dad was he was an '80s kid, so the fan clubs were still a thing in the early '80s or the late '80s, early '90s. So he signed me up for the Michael Jordan fan club. So I didn't know what basketball was. So when I was taught basketball, my dad I just would get all this guy stuff and I'd cardboard cutouts, pictures, basketballs, and he's like, "This is Michael Jordan, and then this is the game he plays."
Okay.
So that's how I learned basketball. And then wrestling, my dad's like, this is Hulk Hogan. I was like, all right. And then I'd watch it, and I was in love with Macho Man. So that was my first wrestler. When everyone was a Hulkamaniac, I was part of the Macho Man scrap. And I never got into the Ultimate Warrior.
Wow.
He wasn't my thing. Even though I was even to this day, I know we talk about it in the group chat. Well, you're always into those stupid gimmicks.
Yeah.
I'm a gimmick guy.
And he was a gimmick. Everyone says that he was just an Indian, a Native American, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a Native American warrior.
And when you hear that, you're like, yeah, I guess he kind of is.
That makes sense.
He's talking about the moon and blood and everything.
But so I'll ask you this one, and I'll share mine as well. But what was your like you said that tag team match? But what was one of your first like maybe like we'll say like oh my god moments? That's a term they like to use that you watched in wrestling. That
I would have to rent the video, so I was always behind on pay-per-views. I didn't watch them live, and I was like, we're not paying $30 for a pay-per-view, you know.
I was able to get one pay-per-view. I'll tell you, my first pay-per-view.
It was probably some tape and probably like Mega Powers.
Like a Mega Powers thing?
Yeah, well, what a storyline that was. That was fantastic. It's even fantastic now.
It still holds up.
Yeah,
it definitely holds up.
The WrestleMania 6 match is still a great match. So I don't know, people are like, oh, it's Hogan and Warrior, they can't do nothing. Well, they had a great match.
So my biggest oh my god moment as a kid is when Jake the Snake pulled the Cobra out.
Oh, and he bit Macho Man.
Yes, I bawled.
Really?
I cried. My dad was like, he had to console me. I was crying. I did not. I think psychologically that's why I'm afraid of snakes, because Jake the Snake would literally bring a snake in, and these are like, I always looked at wrestlers as like they were like my first superheroes.
Yeah, they're like comic book characters.
Yes. So when I thought like these guys are afraid of nothing, they're strong, they're tough, they have no fear, and then they'd see a snake and they would turn into
like Andre.
Yeah. So I psychologically I'm like, well, if they're afraid of snakes, I'm not messing with snakes.
Yeah.
And then but I was always like, my parents used to buy me the zoo books too, so I knew about snakes. So when I seen the Cobra, I was like, if that bites you, you die. And then Macho, I was like, he's dead. Macho, my favorite wrestler's dead.
And it actually bit him, too. I guess it was de-venomed or whatever, but still.
I think they took the venom sacs out, and then
I'd be like, no.
Fun fact about that, they just did a Joe Rogan podcast. That snake died that night. It killed itself.
Yeah, because of going through, I guess, the stress and trauma.
The stress and the trauma. Like, those snakes were put through hell.
Yeah.
They were put like...
I think the boys used to fuck with the snakes too. Can I curse?
That's fine.
Good. I said fuck. Yeah, a lot of people would mess with the snake and stuff. And that's terrible.
And Macho Man made Jake take a bite before they walked out to the ring, which is a cool...
Make that snake bite you.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me dead. I'm the champion. Yeah, great. That was my first moment, but that was something that... one of my first, like when I was a kid, like holy crap, and that was a Saturday morning television too.
Yeah, can you imagine a kid watching that?
Yeah,
like,
see, Raw. What is it? How I don't like. So our age, you're a little older than me, right?
Yeah, I'm 36. Everyone thinks, what are you, like 27? I'm like, yes.
Yes, yeah. You look very, very young.
Yeah. Well, my mom is 63, and she looks like she's about 45.
Really?
So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm good. I'm set. You know?
Yeah. So I remember like Raw. Like I don't remember Raw until I was much, much older.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I remember primetime wrestling before Raw.
Okay. Yeah. See,
and then the round table with Mr. Perfect and Bobby Heenan and what was it Vince or Gorilla
Monsoon.
Sometimes it was Hillbilly Jim, and then they had like a revolving fifth guy.
When did you see your first live event?
I didn't go for a long time. It was at Hershey, and it was a house show.
Yeah,
it was a WD house show. I remember the first match was like the Bushwhackers versus something like Job Tag Team, maybe like Well Done or
what was the main event
that
night? Do you remember?
Undertaker versus I want to say Bret.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was Undertaker versus Bret.
I went to a Hershey house show, and this is when the Lex Luger thing was still happening.
Oh, okay.
So Lex Luger had a match, but then they were working up to the casket match, so they did a Yokozuna Undertaker casket match in Hershey, and then they had a four-way tag team, and it was Shawn on one side and Bret on the other. So they're keeping them separate, but they were kind of building that tension. But that was my first live show. I was way high in the nosebleed section.
I was actually first row.
Really?
Yeah. So here's the ring. I was in the corner, like right here. I was like,
nice.
Yeah, this is awesome.
But I did a lot of indie shows. I don't know who the promotions were at the time, but they used to go to all the high schools.
Yeah.
And I used to do a lot of those. My parents would take me, and I had a lot of cool stories. Like I met King Kong Bundy. I wrestled King Kong Bundy in the West End's Fire Company. Engine room, because they performed at the high school, then they all went to the West End afterward to get some drinks and beers and stuff, and my dad is a firefighter and he knew everybody, so he walked in and he goes, hey, my kid's out here, would any of you guys be willing just to come out and talk to him? Like, I'm a firefighter too.
And it makes a big deal. Yeah.
And they all kind of turned around and went like, and just like, get me a beer. And King Kong was like, your kid's out there? Yeah. And my dad's like, yeah. And he got up and he came out and he like hung out with me. We were playing around.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I said, I can't wait to go back to my house and tell all my cousins, because they were all with me at the show too. And my dad's like, I'm not bringing all of them. I just can't bring, because I have a pretty big family. So he goes, well, go. He goes, my dad, he goes, how far do you live? And he goes, I literally live right around the corner. And he goes, go get the kids and bring them down here. I'll watch him. So I was like babysat by King Kong Bundy. My dad walked up, got my cousins, and then we got like a group photo of like 8 of us hanging on all different parts of his body and stuff.
He was a big dude.
He was such a nice guy.
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
My top 3 nicest guys probably it would be him, but Blue Meanie is still my number 1.
He's a nice guy. Yeah.
He's such a sweetheart.
Ricky Morton was a really nice guy. He was telling jokes with everyone. Yeah, he was super nice.
So we'll try to not go too fast, but we'll bounce around. But what was your first pay-per-view that you were able to get that you
like live?
Yeah, like maybe you're like, Mom, please get me this just one. Did that ever happen, or do you ever go to a friend's house?
So yeah. The first one I can really remember is WrestleMania with was it 10? No, it was Shawn vs. Brett, the Iron Man match.
The Iron Man.
Is that 11? I'm terrible with the numbers in WrestleManias.
Yeah,
my one friend's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I can't do them either.
But
like
with
that.
the Iron Man match, that was the first.
That was I watched that at a friend's house too. That was a great pay-per-view. That was the Iron Man match. Then there was a street fight with Goldust Piper.
Yeah, which was great.
That was a good pay-per-view.
Even though part of it was pre-taped.
Yeah. Well, when you're a kid, you had no idea. No clue.
Live.
Yeah. My first pay-per-view was the ladder match, the Sean Razor.
Oh, okay.
And
that
I watched
was WrestleMania 10.
Yeah. And I watched that
at Madison Square Garden.
Because I remember when you used to rent a pay-per-view, you would get it for like 48 to 24 hours.
Yeah,
and it would just repeat. I watched it like 10 times in a row. Because it was like my first pay-per-view.
We had Brett Owens on that too.
Yeah. What was the pay-per-view where Brett beat Owen or the opposite way, and then
he gets a title match and made no sense. Yeah. I rewatched that recently.
And then 2 years ago. The Hart Foundation's celebrating in the ring, and they're telling Owen to come in, and he's just like, the hell he is.
He's turning bad.
Yeah. You know what? He would have been. I think he would have surpassed his brother if he would have. Yeah,
if he didn't die.
He was so good.
He would have been world champion.
Yeah,
100%. Especially when people started leaving and everything. WCW.
I think he would have left, and they would have done a lot to keep him. Yeah, and they would have put a title on him.
I think so. Yeah, he would have won the Intercontinental that night if he didn't die. Yeah, and then I think he would have eventually won the world title.
He was so good, and they said his personality backstage was so good. Yeah, like his ribs and his jokes. People, yeah. So, growing up, who were some of your top guys that you looked up to, or some inspirations?
Just in wrestling or in general? I did like Roddy Piper, even though he was a bad guy. Yeah. I liked Bret Hart, and I liked Hogan and stuff. But it felt like you had to like Hogan.
Yeah,
I just have to like Hogan.
I was always that guy, like the kid, like the anti-hero. Like I always rooted for the bad guy, like the person that you're supposed to like. I was like, I'm bored. Yeah. Like that's just how I always been. So I always Piper was a guy I loved. Sean, obviously.
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect was awesome when he hit Brett with the perfect plex, and then you see Brett try to kick and he cinched it and he won. Yeah. Oh my God, that was awesome. I always liked they were probably my top guys at the time, and then when Sean turned bad, I was even more into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it when he kicked him. I was just like. Oh,
yeah, I had to watch all that a tapes. I read them from West Coast Video, so there's a dated Pottsville reference.
I used to get the magazines.
Yeah, I would get WWE, and then there's 3 that they call the Apter mags in the business because of Bill Apter would take pictures for him. Inside Wrestling, The Wrestler, and Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
I think
the Giant used to have all of them. When I get money, I'd buy them all.
I think I had Pro Wrestling. Was there ever one called All-Star Wrestling?
Yeah, there was. That was the one that was color. It was a black guy that ran it. I forget his name. Black Jack Brown or something like that. Yeah. And All-Star Wrestling. They would have the colored pictures, and it was mainly color, and then it was the articles were in black and white.
I remember that's the one I used to get. So every time my dad would take me to my mom would go to a gas station or something, I would get the wrestling magazine. Or when the WWF magazine first came out, I was all about that. I wish I would have had some of them. I had Sean as soon as Sean turned heel, and they got that purple cover with the girls doing his hair, and he was and he's wearing the white with the
peace glasses.
Yeah, and I had it, and I
have most of my old magazines, but I don't have any it's mainly from New Generation on. It's 94.
I remember paging through it, and you would see the merchandise, and you're like, "Oh my God,
I want that!
I want to earn
$15." Yeah, sounds like I'll buy 5 shirts if I want.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think. Growing up with that, where you didn't get stuff, now my wife's like, "You have a spending problem." I'm like, "It's because I always used to stare at stuff and never get it." Yeah, yeah. I was,
and I didn't know. I only knew WWF at the time.
I didn't know all I knew.
Anything else? People were like, "Well, didn't you get WCW?" I'm like, "No, not from Time Warner Cable out of Pottsville." And people were like, "Well, the Philly station." Well, I didn't get the Philly station. Okay, so
I remember I would read the articles a little. I mean, not too much research. When I was getting Rackies magazines, my reading wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at pictures, essentially. And I remember looking at pictures like Flair, and I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, and then every picture of Flair would just be blood.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this guy's crazy. And like the Cactus Jack photos and stuff like that. But I was a strict WWE guy. Like, I was brainwashed. I was like, you can't. So when
this is the only wrestling there is.
Yes. So when the Monday Night Wars were happening, I used to go to a friend's house, and he would be like flipping back and forth, and I'd be like, "Can you stop doing that?" And he goes, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't want to watch these traitors. Like, I want to watch Raw."
Yeah.
I never went back to his house because he switched channels.
I would flip and then watch whatever I liked more.
Yeah.
Like I remember I just found Nitro because Raw was preempted that week, and it's like, there's another wrestling on.
Yeah.
But I knew WCW because I knew Saturday night, and my mom was dating this guy at the time when we go over his cousin's house or something, and he had DirecTV, and I found out TBS had Saturday night. Like, oh, I watched wrestling for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know? That's what I do at his house. I was like, oh, and it seemed like Harlem Heat and everything.
What was your first wrestling merchandise that you could date back to remember that you were getting? You were like, this is insane.
The styrofoam. Remember the styrofoam? I hit them like the styrofoam belts. Remember that? And I had the Intercontinental one.
Yes.
Yeah.
My parents were very, very good at with getting me the. I had a lot of the old.
Oh, the little guys,
the little action figure. I had
LGNs.
almost all of those.
Wow.
And then if I could still, I see them on eBay every now and then, but they ask way too much for them. But I had a Jake the Snake, and I had a Macho Man, and a Hulk. No, I had a Hulk Hogan and Jake the Snake wrestling buddy.
Oh yes.
Remember the wrestling buddies?
I never got them back in the day.
Yeah.
I somehow didn't. I did have the little LGN guys. I had Hogan and Warrior. And probably somebody else too.
I had most of the, and then I had the blue ring, then I had the yellow ring.
Okay, with the
King of the Ring
ropes that were like a hair tie for girls.
Yes.
That's what the ropes were made out, and they would get like real saggy after a while. And I had the big guys too that I got like from.
Oh, the big
like
classic ones.
Yeah, the guys that like don't move. Like here's Hogan.
They were like, you would get like Greg DeHalm Valentine, Hulk Hogan,
SD Jones.
Who I had a hammer. I had Greg DeHammer Valentine. I had a Hulk Hogan. I had George the Animal Steel. I had 4 of them. Oh,
I had a bunch because I got them at like a yard sale or something. And I never seen that like Mean Gene because he was just like this.
It was either Coco Beware or it was Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, there's both of them. They all kind of like had that sitting where they're like this and like that's it.
They didn't move,
and they weren't fun. You go, oh, suplex, and then WCW had them in the early '90s. I had Vader and Ric Flair.
Yeah, I had a Vader one too. I believe I had a Vader one.
He was just like this.
Yes,
I'm Vader.
And his only move I would do is he'd like
like body slam.
Press. Yeah,
they were so hard. They were even harder than
you could break someone's face with one of those.
Yeah, you could knock somebody out with the Vader.
Yeah, they were.
I still have him.
Do you really?
Yeah,
yeah.
And I have Demolition, the old guys, and LOD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always want to try to get like some of the things that are on my wish list. I have I can find them on eBay, but I try to find them in the wild.
It's a little more fun.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that I always try to look for in the wild. So me and Steve Fulton's big thing is we want to find at the Salvation Army like an Austin 316 shirt.
Oh, I have a remade one.
Do you?
Yeah.
If we could find the original one of that, and then I would like to find like an old Rockers shirt.
Oh,
like the old school Rockers.
Anything like that.
Yeah.
Even if it was a size too big, I would buy it just 100%. To have it. I still have I think my first shirt was the Razor shirt. We had the razors all over it.
Yes.
I still have that.
One of my first T-shirts. I think I didn't get into the shirt game until like middle school, and I think one of my first shirt was a DX shirt.
Really?
And I wasn't allowed to wear it to school because it said "suck it" on it. Yeah.
You remember Schuylkill Valley started selling them?
Yeah.
They had the whole wall. I was like, oh, there's wrestling shirts in Schuylkill Valley.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a real big deal.
This is going to be a terribly local reference podcast.
Yeah, that's all right.
Schuylkill Valley Sports.
Schuylkill Valley Sports.
And the Schuylkill Mall. What's that?
Was our terrible mall? Was our very not? I don't want to say terrible because it's gone now and now we miss it. But it was Schuylkill Valley Sports was like our Foot Locker, Reebok, like our Foot Locker of our local. It was actually owned and ran by Brian Dawkins from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Really?
He was part owner of that.
Wow. Well, they still have the one in Fairlane Mall, and there's one in Reading, I think. Yeah.
Yes. But I think it started off as a store in Pottsville.
Really? Yeah, it was downtown somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it moved to three or four locations, and then obviously the one closed down. But that was like our store, and it was just they sold like basketball jerseys, football jerseys, shoes, sporting equipment.
Yeah, tape and everything.
Yep.
Like
and then they got wrestling shirts, and that was like.
I bought my first wrestling shoes. I wear amateur wrestling shoes. My kick pads. I bought them at one in Frackville. So
and then the wrestling gear, then everything went to Spencer's. We had Spencer's for a while.
Yeah.
That was big for wrestling
and it
gear.
closed and nothing ever filled that building.
I know, that was such a
empty
heartbreak.
until the mall was torn down.
Yeah. Then you could still see like the Spencer's stained on the wall.
Talk about bad management. That's
Yeah.
that's all that mall was. Everyone tells you it's the area and people don't spend. No, people spend money. There's malls in the middle of nowhere that make money. It's bad management. That's all it is.
I think I would hope that other malls are now doing better because I think people are like, oh, we had it, now we lost it. I just hope that's happening. But yeah, that was good. But yeah, trying to think. Kmart started selling wrestling shirts for a while.
That when it got super big, like 98, 99.
Like the Attitude Era
when
it blew up.
The generic like Steve Austin, his face was half snake.
Yep. Fulton found a wrestling shirt at the one day, and he couldn't fit it, so Kendra now has it. But it's literally Jake the Snake, and it's the snake.
Yeah.
But like the snake's face looks like Jake. But it's still,
that's pretty cool.
It's so cool, and she wears it. And she's not a big wrestling fan, but she wears it, I think, just to be like, haha, this doesn't fit you
like,
fatties.
Yeah, like retro.
Yeah,
and like,
it's
that's
so
cool.
retro.
Vintage.
It's such a good shirt. She found me like a 2X. I really appreciate it, but I'm not a huge Brett fan.
Yeah.
But it's like a shirt of just Brett's profile, like being angry, and it's like on the front and the back.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool shirt. I have it upstairs. But yeah, I try to get all those. But another one I want to find the Jerichoholic shirts, the WCW Jericho shirts.
Okay, yeah, the Monday Night Jericho. There was a guy making repros on
eBay. I found them. Yeah, he does that, and then he does the Raw's Jericho, where it was the fist.
Okay, yeah.
I want to get that one as
well. I
well.
want the old WCW 4 Horsemen one.
Yeah.
It's like the horses running.
Uh-huh.
And I think I messaged him. He's like, oh, no, we don't make that one. I'm like, why not?
That's crazy. Why would you not do that?
The WWE one's stupid. It's the 4 horses, but like 2 look that way, 2 look this way. It's like, I don't want that one. I want the old one where they're like running.
Yeah. What is, if you could, what are some of your finds, if you find wrestling-wise, that you would...
Well, I always wanted as a kid, but I don't want them now because it's with the LOD pads. Remember them with like the styrofoam spikes and the things? Like I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
I'd love to have that. But
I had a friend who had the styrofoam urn.
Really?
And I always wanted one. Yeah.
The martini shaker.
Yeah, I would still, if I could find See, I was not. I mean, I liked LOD, but I wasn't sold on them like everybody else was.
See, I was like, oh, these guys are so cool.
Yeah,
like,
they did look cool.
Beat the shit out of people.
What was my tag team?
Demolition. I seen Demolition before LOD because I didn't see WCW. So
I'm trying to think.
Was the Rougeau brothers? I just said
I don't know, man. I mean, the Rockers were big, and I think once the Rockers split up, I didn't really care about tag team wrestling for a long time. And then I would say probably the '90s. Then I started when all this factions started. I was a big faction guy. When like the Ministry and then like the Nation of Domination and I loved all that.
The DOA.
Some of that is just terrible. The bikers,
absolutely terrible.
And then DX would pee on their bikes.
And then push them over.
That was good times of wrestling. At what point did you go through high school? You do what you gotta do. Right out of high school, did you go to college or anything like that?
No, I always hated school. So I was like, I don't want to go to more school. So college for me was just more school. So I'm like, I'm just going to get a job and I'm just going to work because I hate school.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And I worked at a hospital for a while in the kitchen, actually, in the storeroom.
Yeah.
So I worked there for like 8 years, 9 years or something. So that's what I did because I was like, I don't want to go to more school.
When did it hit you that like I can do this wrestling? Like I can get into this and become a wrestler?
Probably because it's always huge guys aside from Rey Mysterio and stuff. But like we'd start going to Ring of Honor, and then we went to like some CCW shows too. So it's like 2004, 2005. And I was like, there's guys I'm bigger than. Like what they can do, it's so.
Now when you say we, who would you include? Like who was your crew that like your?
I don't know. My friend Matt Hill. He hosts all the wrestling things. Ryan Parker. I don't know if you know St. Clair.
I might know him to see him.
Yeah. And then we had a friend named Slade, who was a real big guy. So just all the people I hung out in St. Clair and stuff. We started going to all the indie shows. So it was a fun time. And I was like, I could do this. That's why I looked into it, but I didn't know,
like where to go about doing it.
Yeah, because you look in there's like schools, but they're like in New York. I'm like, guys like, you got to pay your dues. Well, I'm not driving 4 hours one way. Like that's
the only school I knew of growing up, and I remember when I was a kid, I was like, if it's still there, I'm gonna do it. Was the Wild Samoan school in Hazleton? Yeah,
and then it moved down to like
Allentown. Yeah. But by that time, I realized my wrestling dreams were over. I tried to go to a school. I want to say it was in like Danville. All I remember is
they come and go a lot.
Yeah, this promotion had a guy I could probably be saying it wrong. His name was Eric Draven, and he was kind of like he was trying to do the Crow Sting thing for a while.
Yeah.
And we went. My buddy Dave and Tony were getting into wrestling, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll tag along." And they went to a few practices, and I was like, I'm too tiny."
Yeah.
Like
it's hard at first because like it's a lot of getting slammed. And
I think I took a chop, and I was like,
so it's a lot of discouraging at first.
Yeah.
So you gotta like really stick with it, or else you hit the ropes and you can get bruises on your side there.
It pinches you.
Yeah. Because it is steel cables underneath wrapped in stuff, and then usually taped.
Yeah.
Very rare is it real ropes.
Yeah.
So at first it's hard, and you're like, oh, there's so much, but once you start getting it, then you're like, okay, I can do this.
Mm-hmm. So, now what was your first, like, how old were you when you first got your first company or your first
I think
school?
I was like 24, yeah, because I didn't know what to do, and I probably thought I couldn't do it for a while, so I was like, can't do it. But I was at, somebody was playing, it was like a birthday / show at the Amvets in Pottsville, and there was some guy there who was like, yeah, we do like this wrestling, like backyard stuff, but like the couple of guys are training for real. And I forget who the dude was, but I got his name, and they got hooked up with these guys that were training in Jersey Shore, PA, not Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So it's up in the mountains, so it's like 2 hours, and they had an airplane.
Nowhere near a shore.
No, there's no shores. There's a small river there. Maybe the Susquehanna is the closest thing to a shore, and they had an airplane hangar, and it was like a couple small guys. They never really made it anywhere. The one was Bruce Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a tag team called the Best Round, because they come out, they're the best round.
Yeah.
Him and TJ Cannon, I believe his tag partner's name was. So it was like 5 guys, and they trained there. A couple lived there, and I talked to them. I started training with them, and it was free, and it was whatever. And that's how I got started, really. And then I didn't really do any like professional training, I guess you could say, until I went to Jakarta for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was in Philly, and at the time I was only getting like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So driving to Philly twice a week and then driving the shows, like I just couldn't handle it. But it was cool. I was there for a couple months, and Claudio was there at the time, which is Cesaro. So I trained with him. And Sarah Del Rey was trained to all the women now. Sarah Amato, she was there. So I wrestled the practice. How is
Cesaro as a person?
He's very nice.
Seems like
he's
a
funny.
cool dude too.
He's a cool guy. He's one of the nicest guys you ever meet. And he's super strong. I remember he just like picked me up and like walked with me, and it's like,
so that whole
I'm
Superman gimmick is not bullshit.
No, that's real. He is super strong.
Yeah.
And he's really good too. Like when you watch him, wow, Claudio is so good. Like they should use him more now.
He's almost too athletic. If that's like, it's not even like a bad, like he hurt, like most of his injuries, like when he busted his teeth out of his face, is because he jumped way too high.
Yeah.
Like he's just so athletic. Like I remember watching this when they did a steel cage match, and it might have been against the Usos, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been Bray and Matt when they were doing their tag, but he jumped from the floor to the cage, and he almost hit the top. Like, he was almost over from one jump.
Like,
and then he was like, whoops. And he kind of like pretended he was stuck because he was like, I got way too high.
He is like so good. I mean, his promos are probably not that great, and that's probably what's holding him back. But like,
the bar stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
It was like, the best thing that ever happened to them.
Yeah, that definitely. But like, if he went to like New Japan, he would be a superstar. He'd be made
Ring of Honor. He would do
well, he wasn't Ring of Honor, but that's where he was coming up, and him and Chris Hero were the Kings of Wrestling.
Yeah.
And they were like tag champs there, PWG, and
if I'm kicking you, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
My knee.
And Chikara, they were like 3 tag champs all the
Him
same
and Chris
time.
Daniels would probably be a good rivalry.
Yeah, they probably had a match in ROH, and I've probably seen it.
Yeah, I like I said, I haven't watched my wrestling when it comes to ROH and New Japan is very, very minuscule because it's hard for me to get to watch it, and I just already have so much on my plate, so I just stick what I.
It's hard to add, yeah.
It's hard to add.
New Japan World.
Like I think depending on how AEW works out, I'm gonna start with that.
Yeah,
because it's fresh.
Yeah, and it's easy to.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that they're probably gonna get a TV deal. So I'm hoping, since it's not off cable, it's on Hulu. That's my bid. Please be on Hulu.
Yeah, just find a way on Hulu.
They're not going to start their own streaming service. I mean, they have no back catalog. You know? Here's a streaming service. Watch All In.
Yeah, that's very true. Unless they can find a way to put all their being lead on there, and if the rumors are true with this deal, maybe they can get like the New Japan stuff on there. Like if they can.
Because All In is on New Japan World. Like they said, we'll play it live, we won't play it live, but we're going to play it immediately after because they want you to buy it on Fight or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, and there's like, well, I guess half the roster.
I watched that on someone videotaping from their phone.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I watched All In. It worked.
We bought it. Me and my friend paid for it. And we were going to watch it.
I was very scared. I was impressed with the show. It was very good. It was one of those things where you could definitely tell they're onto something.
Yeah, and it was something different.
Yeah,
this is different.
I'm nervous though with it. I'm very nervous. We'll talk more about it on Thursday, but I am very nervous about it. But yeah, so you get through your training, you get your first couple matches and stuff. Do you have like any moments where you're in the ring and you're like, this is more than I thought it was, or
not really? Because I guess not that I was overconfident, but I felt that I could do it already. Because I did backyard stuff on trampoline, but that's not.
Yeah.
But I could I understood how a suplex worked. Maybe I didn't know the science behind it, psychology as they say. But I knew how moves went. So I was like, all I gotta learn is the chain wrestling, lock up, wrist lock, back hammer lock, all that stuff. So once I got in there, I was like, I probably wasn't the best, obviously, starting off, but I felt I can do this, So I never felt like I can't do this.
What was the biggest shocking thing getting into wrestling that you're like, oh, yeah, not the average Joe wouldn't think is a big thing? But
probably getting slammed on the mat for the first time.
Yeah,
like how hard? Chopped, get whipped into the turnbuckle.
I remember watching. And I really liked the show, and I wish they would have done it again. It was like the Ultimate Fighter's version of Tough Enough, but it was tough. What was it? Was it called? No, it was Tough Enough, and the Ultimate Fighter's called the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
But Tough Enough, where they're like, when you fall, you have to land flat, and then your arms.
Yeah, like they say, the slap. But you don't really. If you ever watch some guys wrestle, they never do this.
No,
that's what they learn.
They kind of land flat in their triceps.
Yeah, because you want to distribute the
your
blow
chin
to the best. And it's crazy when you think about it, because how many times have you fallen on the floor in the past year?
Yeah.
0, right?
Yeah.
How many times have I been picked up and slammed on the floor? I don't know, 20? So it is pretty insane.
Yeah,
and that's at the floor, but on the ring it's up and down,
Yeah. It's definitely people. I love when people are like, "Oh, you watch wrestling, they're just getting slammed on that ring is very cushioned."
Yeah.
No,
not really.
No, it's
some are better than others.
Yeah, it's literally a cushion. It's a couple pieces of plywood and steel.
Yeah, and then there's steel bars, and then there's plywood, and then there's a little pad and then the apron. But
and they hollow it a little bit so it makes a cool noise.
Yeah, sometimes there's a big spring, a giant spring underneath
in the middle.
Yeah, and some don't have that. They kind of did away with that because it's hard to set up and everything. But yeah, it can take its toll. If you picked up a normal person who said, "I'm the slammer right here," they're like, "Well, I don't like this."
It's funny when you talk about, when you hear older guys talking about it, hear Hulk Hogan, you're like, well, if you could change one thing, Hulk Hogan, what would it be? And he goes, I wouldn't have picked the leg drop.
Yeah, because he's always laying on his ass.
It ruined his hip.
Imagine that. Mine, I'm just kind of laying on my ass. The Kryptonite Crunch, the Finley's move or Sheamus with white noise.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more, and I kind of have the guy, so maybe it will hurt my ass after a while. But I'm not doing
tailbone. Do you have any lower back pain or anything?
I did have a little thing in my back because you would get hurt doing anything. I got the one guy gave me a hip toss one or an arm drag, and something happened. And he went and then stopped, and I landed weird, and my back was really messed up for a while. A couple months, but luckily I've never been injured real bad.
Never had a serious.
Like I say, my leg's sore, or I get popped in the mouth or something, but you can get hurt doing the simplest thing. Headlock takeover. Oh, I dislocated my shoulder.
And that's a thing too. When people get this wrestler's just botching, and it's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy. And then imagine you're doing it in front of maybe 100 people in the gym, but they're doing it for millions of people on TV.
Yeah.
There's pressure.
It's
definitely pressure.
And they might be doing 6 shows a week. And back in the day, they used to do 2 on Sunday. That's insane.
What would be what would you say consider one of your worst injuries that you've sustained? Was it the back one?
Yeah, because the guy went for the hip toss or the arm drag, and I went, and then he stopped because it was he was only wrestling for a year, and I remember I was like, oh no, this guy that I landed, I was like, oh fuck, and it was 2 months, and it was sore, and I don't know, I must have pulled something so didn't give out and stuff, and it was terrible. So that was the worst thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, just one time I came down hard on my heel, and that was sore for a while, but no big deal.
You busted your mouth in the ladder match, right?
Yeah, there. And then when I would first get started, it seemed like everyone would punch me in the mouth, or I got clothesline right here one time, and blood, but never stitches, which is lucky.
Did you ever think about wearing a mouthpiece?
No, I never did.
Because it's becoming an accessory.
Yeah, like Kurt Angle, Cesaro now. But I never really thought, I'll put that there. But I don't know if that would help, my lip hitting. If I had the mouthpiece in and someone punched me, it'd probably still get busted open. So
you might not though. Your teeth. What really is busting you open is your teeth are cutting your gum.
Yeah.
But if you have the mouthpiece, your teeth are hitting a flat surface of the mouthpiece.
Yeah. And it's probably
and it could help a lot with. it's like a cool science to it. They actually just designed this one mouthpiece that the football teams were using, and it was a special. I don't know how they designed it. I don't know the science behind it, but they were finding out when people were wearing this mouthpiece, they reduce their concussions with the blow in their head, because when your jaw is clenched and you take a bite and you're biting into it and you clench everything up, you have less bounce of your brain in your head, and you're getting less concussions.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I know you can always with your how you kind of incorporate your comic book and the nerdyism with your wrestling.
Pete Dunne has one thing, they have like the little monster teeth and stuff. Yeah. But I always think, if I get bust open, I can kind of just work that into it. Be like, I get
and then smear the big Foley where it'd be on the mat. It was like mix it with your spit. Have you ever been in a match where it's been like a bloodbath?
Yeah, I was in one, and it's really gross.
Yeah.
I know I tried to cut myself the blade job, as I say, brother, but I was doing it. I don't like doing that because
it creeps you out.
Yeah, and you really have to go. And I tried it, and I couldn't get nothing. But they're a guy. They're supposed to go side to side, right?
Yeah,
that's the best. That way, it heals and
like on your how you have the wrinkle on your forehead.
You
want it so you don't leave a scar.
Like the gig, as they say, and then a little bit will come out, and then it'll heal. But you see them guys years ago, and they have like Dusty or Abdul
the Butcher.
Yeah, terrible. He has like grooves.
Yeah.
By the way, the guy I was wrestling, who was Ryan Zero, he moved to I think Florida or something. I had like a gothic gimmick. He did this diagonal, and it was just, and he did it. I forget why I threw him in the cage, and it was like, and it was just pour, and I was like, oh, this is gross. And it was all over my pants and my arm. It looked like I was bloody, and he had me in this move like because it was a cage match, like weapons cage. So he's behind me. I'm sitting. And I think he had like a fork. He's going to dig the fork in my head. And his blood, all I can remember is his blood was hitting me, and it was running down, and it was wet, and it was warm.
Get out of my mouth.
And it got in my mouth, and I was like, I think I did something. I was like, ew, this is gross.
Do you go get tested?
No, I didn't.
I would have.
I think I probably should have. I think I'm okay. But I was like, oh, this is so gross. And then like afterwards, like it was up my arms.
Now, did the promoter get pissed? Because, I mean, the promoter, any promoter's budget isn't to replace the mat every week.
Yeah. Well, I think like he knew there was going to be blood and stuff. Maybe not to that extent. I mean, I know he was pretty good. The guy was buddies with the promoter, so I don't think he was too upset. But still, like that was.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was gross.
I went to it was an ECW show, but it didn't have the moniker of ECW.
Oh, okay.
And it was in Shenandoah High School. And it was Abdul the Butcher versus Terry Funk in a no-holds-barred cage match. And the very start of the match, Abdul pulls the fork out, and he goes to hit Terry, and Terry kicks him, takes the fork out of his hand, and buries it into his forehead. And it's just squirting.
Really?
And literally the parents, like, it was like immediate gasp because they couldn't believe kids were like, is that real? And they're like, we are leaving.
You can't really fake
Parents were getting the kids, and they were out. Abdul the Butcher bled all over. They got out of the cage. They fought up the bleachers. There was this Home of the Devils. There was blood on that wall. There was blood all over the floor. They went into the bathroom and fought. There was blood all over the bathroom. Then years later, Abdul the Butcher was like, what, Hep C?
Yeah. And he had a restaurant too, which was kind of
creepy. Yeah.
But back then, people didn't think about it'll bleed and there's no big deal because they didn't understand.
And those guys were crazy.
Concussions,
I seen Tito Ortiz. No, not Tito Ortiz. Tito Santana was there. Jimmy Anvil Neidhart was there. He choked me out.
No,
he don't remember. He was so. He was high. He was definitely high.
Yeah, he was. That's
Yeah.
Paul's life, I think.
And he put me and my buddy in a double chokehold. He was super nice. He was awesome. He took a lot of pictures with us. But when he put me in that choke, man, I was right there, and I was just like,
it didn't work.
Yeah,
shoot on these kids.
Yeah. Who else? Bam Bam Bigelow was there, but he wasn't going by Bam Bam. He was. I think he had like a mask on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. But I think he was in that transition period where he didn't know where he was going to be yet.
Oh, okay.
But he couldn't use the Bam Bam, so he did autographs and he would sign up BB.
Who was that? Yeah. Brian Blair.
But like, if you knew who Bam Bam Bigelow was, you went up to him and you're like, oh my god, like, and he would be like, yeah, just.
That's cool. I wish I would have went there. I never went to any of the local shows years ago.
The Monty City one, they had Hacksaw one year. They had Doink. I met Papa Shango. Trying to think of some other cool names I got to see. I met Jimmy Snuka in Hazleton.
Okay.
They did like that farm show thing they do in Hazleton, that little like, flea market. They had a little area outside with tents, and me and my brother went there and we got front row because we got there early because they're like, because someone said like, oh, there's gonna be wrestling here. And my aunt was like, she knew people, and they're like, she goes, Jimmy Snuka's gonna be here, but they're not advertising him. I was like,
yeah, whatever.
Let's see. And then sure enough, they're like, everyone, like, ladies and gentlemen, the main event's gonna be Jimmy Snuka, and I was like, holy crap. And so they came out and they said, we have a bunch of people who have disabilities and mental disabilities and stuff, and is anyone willing to give up their front row seat to them? And we literally, I didn't even think about it. I just stood up and said, Austin, we're gonna go stand over here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we cool to stand here? And like, you're fine. And like, thank you so much for giving your seat up. And the guy came over and he's like, when this is over, come see me. Like, don't leave here. Come over where I'm at.
Yeah.
And he brought us in the back, and he's like, come here. And he took us in the back, and Jimmy was taking his boots off and taking his knee pads off. And he didn't really talk to us, but he was like, hey, guys, thank you for giving your seats up.
Thank
and
you for brother.
yeah, he was yellow. I mean, his eyes were
Really?
yellow. Like, he was rough. He was in bad shape.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see him. Like, he was like...
It is cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they're way past their prime,
minus
it's cool.
the history, but...
Waving.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So when all right, go ahead, Ben, because I just ruined my flow here.
We'll talk about Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah. What do you got?
No, I didn't mean to intervene, but I always liked those shows. I was at some of the shows like at North Schuylkill then too, and like in Ashland they had like Jimmy the Anvil Neihart, like you were saying. Brutus Beefcake was another one then too.
I missed that show.
With I think he had the hedge trimmers, I think too, and I actually got to see Captain Lou Albano.
I met him twice.
I never met him.
Saw him at the Schuylkill Mall, and my mom's like, "Oh, Captain Lou Albano, when I was a little kid," and all, and she did her whole thing, and I got.
He was actually at the Hazleton thing with Jimmy Snuka.
Oh, get out of here! Wow. But I got an autograph of Captain Lou Albano with his Super Mario attire, so like it kind of tied in. I'm like, that was the only way I could associate with him too. So it's pretty fun.
While we have you here, do you have any questions for Andy? That since we, that you
anything, just chime in whenever. I don't mind.
Yeah.
You can ask me anything.
I have a good one. Out of all your like wrestling matches, like I know we were talking about more like famous wrestlers. Who is a famous wrestler that you enjoyed wrestling with?
I did wrestle Claudio Cesaro. I always call him Claudio because that's how I first met him. Whenever I first meet him, that's their name forever.
Yeah.
It's hard to change that unless their name somehow gets better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a match in Pine Grove actually.
I seen the video that
it was a 3-way, and then another guy named Aaron Arbo was in it. That was really good.
Andy posted a video of him walking on the street in his trunks. Yeah.
So that was really cool. It was super easy too. Like I wrestled with Axel Rotten. Like I tagged against him and I tagged with him. That was in like down in Maryland. And it was funny, even though Axel was kind of way out of it and stuff. But as far as like, I didn't really start wrestling names until like recently. I would say like here and there. But so I would take Cesaro.
Yeah,
yeah, by far.
How was Tessa? Was that fun?
Yeah, that was. She was nice. Some people said she's hard to deal with. Yeah, but like she was nice to me.
I feel like. I don't understand how WWE didn't snatch her up yet.
I guess they didn't see it. Maybe. I mean, she's really good, but like
her last name alone.
Yeah, but I felt like because I was doing the promo and I was like, when we get this one point, like, but my manager was kind of like, and I was like, I'm gonna get behind you, and pull your hair, and that would be the signal. Like, and I didn't even get to that, and she was kind of like ahead in the promo. Like, I was like, this is going somewhere. Like, slow down a little bit, Tessa. So I was like, follow me on this one, but it was still pretty cool.
Yeah. And then you got Bob Holly.
Yeah, and it was like an 8-man tags with 4 and 4. Bob was super cool, but like we didn't do much, but he did let me do a little bit with him, which was pretty cool. And I took the Alabama Slam stuff and gave me a few moves.
Now the PPW has that big show coming up with
the Impact show.
The Impact show.
I'm not on.
You're not on it.
No.
I was gonna say
some people are. I'm kind of like.
Oh man! So you wish you were.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't really watch Impact.
If you had a choice of who would you like to get in the ring with in that
from Impact,
that are going to be on that show.
I guess John Morrison.
Of course.
That's a good one.
If I had to pick,
he is so good.
Yeah, he's really good. Like,
so good.
Brian Cage is good too, but like he's a little too jacked. I feel like I could do more with John Morrison.
Yeah.
Or Johnny Knight. What Johnny Impact, I guess.
Impact, Morrison, Johnny Mundo.
Yeah, Johnny Blackcraft, he wrestled there once.
Yeah.
Like,
he's just so good. He has such a good look.
Yeah. He's a guy they should sign back. I mean, why
100%. I mean, I don't understand how, I mean, you look at Prince Puma or you look at, Ricochet and you're like, wow. But But if you watch the Ricochet Johnny Mundo matches, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a promotion, I would put the team on their back.
Yeah.
And then you have Pentagon, who is unbelievable too.
Yeah.
Like, I like and then Ray Phoenix. I mean, Lucha Underground, I think it's officially done now, right?
I think, yeah. I don't think they've officially announced it, but like Jack Swagger won the title at the last, so it's season 5, and I think that's done. I know they said that.
I honestly think that as a wrestling fan, that should be something that people go back and be like, you should go back and watch. Like, it's only 4 or 5 seasons. You can literally go through the whole catalog. Lucha Underground was something. It cost a lot to shoot because they shoot it like
the problem was,
but it was, I liked the way they shoot it. It was shot like a Spanish soap opera.
Yeah, I mean, there was over the top stuff, but who cares?
But the spots they did were cool.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? Aerostar, or not Aero?
There's an Aerostar.
The white guy. Who's the guy? He always wore lime green and
Jack
black.
Evans.
But he went by something else.
What was his name? Yeah, he's crazy. I seen him do a
jumped off
a reverse 630 and land on the floor in ROH. It's like,
oh, that was him. When he climbed up on the
cage. He's like, and he hits the floor.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
He's crazy.
They tagged him up with somebody in Lucha Underground. I forget.
But that was such a good promotion. I really enjoyed watching.
You know what that reminded me of? Here's a deep dive. Wrestling Society X. Remember that? It was
on
MTV. It was like when wrestling was super hot, like 2000. 2001, MTV's like, we're gonna make our own wrestling, and like X-Pac was in it, and like Vampiro,
really,
and, Matt Sydal, I think a guy named Tyler Black was there at the time, so Seth Rollins. They had the DVD, and it's the whole. It only ran for 1 season, so
really,
yeah, I think
that'd be something to
find.
find.
Yeah, Wrestling Society X, and they had like way over the top matches. Like, there's piranhas in this tank, and we're gonna throw some in. It's like, yeah, and like the camera would shake, and like fireworks would go off. It was kind of cheesy, but it was pretty cool.
When it comes to match types, I'm sure. I mean, you did a cage match, you did a hardcore match, like a street fight, right?
Yeah.
You've done
ladder matches.
Ladder match.
People are like, I never, like my tag partner said, I never did a ladder match when we were in the ladder match. I was like, I think I did like 20.
Yeah.
You know?
Is there a match out there that you want to do that you haven't done yet? Like, even if it's a crazy, silly gimmick one.
Yeah. I would like the dog collar. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or the strap, either or.
What's his name? Didn't the one guy really hurt his neck or something like that back in the day with one of those strap matches?
You probably could, yeah. Well, Piper lost his hearing, like 75% of his hearing in 1 ear because Greg Valentine wrapped the chain around and popped him in the ear.
Oh, wow.
I think that would be pretty cool, though, to have the dog collar.
If you had
no death
top
matches, though. I don't want
death match. Would you ever do a casket match?
Yeah,
that would be fun. That'd be fun.
But like barbed wire, like, I don't know. Like,
have you ever thought about doing like a pre-recorded match with somebody? Like
a final deletion? I would be so into that. Fantastic, but it has to be super goofy and over the top.
Yes, I think that's something we can do. We could definitely
final deletion.
We can definitely do something like I was. Totally. That's the exact person I was thinking of. I love his new thing, the DB Craft thing.
It's good they got away from the mustache, the Kings of Mustache thing, and separates himself from that.
We're gonna do some cool stuff with him soon. I think we're kind of waiting for the weather to break.
Oh, okay.
And then we're gonna do some cool stuff. But that would be fun if we did maybe if we could talk to Outbreak about rivaling you guys up or something, and then do because they want to do a. They're even trying to do it too. Like they want to do like something on YouTube.
Yeah.
So maybe that could be
being the elite, the thing.
That could be something too, where you do like a pre-recorded match.
Or I don't have the money, but it's like Steve Austin and Booker T in this grocery store.
Like a grocery store.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. That is absolutely my favorite thing in the world.
Hey Booker, got milk.
Yeah. That's my favorite one of the whole thing.
Yeah, I just like when he's the whole Booker.
They trash that local grocery. Like how cool would that was Boyers.
Yeah.
Like whoa.
Yeah. I'm sure you can have ties with Wise. Maybe they'll trash it. Yeah. If you could pick a, we'll even go alive or dead. We'll just do alive for this time. And then we'll go to.
Okay.
Who would be something that you would love to get in the ring and just interact with? Not like even like. Because I know a lot of the guys that come in and they don't do like a full match.
Yeah, they kind of do a little bit.
They do a little like a bit here, a bit there. Then they hit their finisher and call it. But who would be someone that you would like to work with?
Someone reasonable or anyone?
Realistically.
Oh, okay. Realistic. Probably somebody from like if you took someone from like ROH or some.
Or like a legend.
I'm trying to pick. Yeah. Jeez. I'm trying to think of someone that's. Like that gets booked that is look, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles.
Or like you would like to take their finish. Or we'll say it that way.
Like it would be cool, like if Jake Roberts did DDT. You know,
Yeah,
I don't want to stake on me, but I'll take the DDT.
I think taking like a Mick Foley Socko would be fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Actually, the one guy who just added me that I was showing you the page, him and his wife, I think they have a cool little thing going on. They just did a thing with Mick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I would definitely let him put a sock in my mouth just to say I did it. Yeah, Mick is just he's probably top. Like if I can meet like 5 guys right now that I would say I would love to meet. I'd like to meet AJ because he's kind of like us, where he's into like wrestling and video games. I'd love to meet Sean.
Did you hear? Oh, what was it like 5 years ago, 6 years ago? When he was at Cabela's,
yeah,
because he had like a hunting book or something coming out. He was like, and that's when he had the huge beard. People like Shawn Michaels at Cabela's, like what?
I didn't know until much after, like after it happened. I would really like to meet Mick, and I think like I am a huge Sean fan, but just watching his career grow, he literally surpassed Sean to me in every way possible. Yeah. Jericho. Yeah. Like, Jericho, I mean, Flair's there too, but Jericho's probably my number 1 guy. I'm wearing my Alpha Club.
There you go.
My Alpha Club shirt now.
Drink it in, man.
But Alpha Club, baby. That dude is killing it.
I know, and it seems like when he came back and he did the thing with Kevin Owens and the whole list thing, best friends, like that was so good.
The finger on the rope was hilarious.
Like, this is so good. It's like, can't get any better. He goes to Japan and it gets better.
Yeah. He just reinvents himself.
Yeah, and he always looks different. I was thinking that too, and like everyone else from his time. I still
feel that he's going to somehow show up in the Rumble.
I don't think he can now. I don't think contractually he
if
can.
If anyone can pull off a contract to do it.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, he's non-exclusive, but I think that is like only for New Japan and ROH, because apparently he's going to wrestle Tanahashi at the MSG show.
I just have a weird feeling that he's going to be like, listen, none of your all-in stuff is happening for a little bit.
Yeah, until March.
I am under a contract with WWE where I can come and go as I please. He's a Legends contract.
Yeah, but I think he's out of it.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
But I think once you're on that Legends contract, it's one of those things.
Yeah, because you get royalties and stuff. I mean,
so, and then he posted a thing with a Triple H post where he goes, "You've always been a good mentor, even though we had." So I wouldn't doubt it. Even if he just comes in and gets thrown out in a minute, just so there's no injury. Yeah. I still hold out that he's going to show up.
I don't think because of like Vince go to AEW. Like so. I wouldn't bet money on it, but I wouldn't be if it happened.
I would mark out.
Yeah, I love Jericho. I always did like Jericho, even back when he was in WCW.
When I was watching the All Elite thing and I heard the Fozzy, I was like, "That's Jericho."
Yeah.
And then like he didn't come out for like a couple seconds, and the music was still playing, and they were trying to like pretend like we're shocked. Who's this coming out? I'm like, that's 100% fucking Jericho. Yeah. I was pretty pumped.
I'm glad he has
his hair's back.
Yeah,
the hair is back.
That. Now you see short hair Jericho.
And he did the top pony.
Like Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
and he brought his old, like he's wearing pants now, and he wrestles. Like I like this new Jericho.
Yeah, I love
old Jericho.
The villain thing he did with the eye paint. Yeah. I mean, it was all so good. I love that guy. But I'm sorry, like someone that you would like to choose, Jake the Snake. Who else would be there?
I'm trying to think if they could get like some indie guys like you said, like John Morrison or like Jay Lethal or some from ROH. Like maybe be on a show with Jay Lethal.
Supposedly, I don't know how true this is, but I was hearing that when Jason Jaybird was wrestling, did you ever wrestle with him at all?
No, when he was just wrapping up when I was just starting.
They said he trained a little bit with Jay Lethal.
Because Jay Lethal that's back 12 years ago.
Yeah,
around there somewhere. Yeah, in Jersey somewhere. And Jay Lethal was actually dating AJ Lee at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so AJ Lee's like a Leela.
Yeah.
All right.
So, they changed somewhere in Jersey because I guess Jay Lethal's from Jersey. Yeah, he was trained there.
He's awesome, too.
Yeah, and I know Unbreakable Andy wrestled, what was his wrestling name?
You wrestled him at the Firehouse.
Yeah,
You were in that Fatal 4, and you guys had some awesome spots there.
What was Jaybird's wrestling name?
Oh, something...
Fantastic Max.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool. Like he did a lot of cool stuff too. Like
he
very
do a
high
lot of
flyer,
cool flips and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was always one thing I wish he would have. If he was still with us, he would definitely be.
And if he would have stayed with wrestling he probably would have interacted somewhere along the line.
He could have been a Jericho, realistically.
Yeah.
He could have been a wrestler and a rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would have carried it over both amazingly.
He stopped wrestling and it was like a pause and then he started the band stuff. But if he would have came back, I know he came back for tried a little bit, but nothing happened.
Yeah, I think he would have definitely toted that line. I think he would still try to do both because he was.
Why not?
Yeah. He could have been a Jericho.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy had charisma. He was great on a mic.
Yeah.
He had a good look.
Yeah.
He was funny. Like, yeah, he could have done it. Yeah, that would have been cool. That's another thing I was asking, if you ever got a chance to wrestle with him or anything.
No, because it was like right or past. Like I was just starting. I was just getting going.
Yeah.
He was kind of wrapping up.
That sucks.
So, yeah.
But your partner on the podcast. We'll do a quick segue there. You'd have a podcast called Call It the Power Ring.
Yes.
Very, very good podcast.
Thank you. We talk wrestling and comic books.
Yeah, and movies, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like a mix between our Not Cool and High School. Pretty much the 2 shows I have you booked on. You're doing you guys have a really good flow. Your Andrew seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Really fun stuff. I like how when you kind of have a thing in the show every time. I guess his wife or one of his kids. You're like, it's a run-in. It's a run-in.
Yeah. His daughter Lily, or his wife Amber. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Amber's running in.
It's a run-in. Yeah. It's a really good. I really enjoy it.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
And like I said, you have a good flow together. I listen to your guys' opinion on some books, and I just downloaded Comixology because I have a Prime membership, so I'm starting to I can get some books.
They just added DC to that.
Yes, so I'm pretty pumped. So I kind of listen to what you guys are opinions, and I kind of look for new books that way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I want to try to get away from, only because I'm getting burnt out with the superhero thing.
Yeah.
Which I never thought I'd hear myself say.
Well, there is so many movies now.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find a book that I can read that's not so superhero themed.
Oh, there's a bunch. But that's where you want to go to the independent comics, Image and stuff like that.
Yeah, Image would be probably your best bet on that, Tony, because they come out with a whole
Vertigo
bunch
has a lot
stuff.
of cool stuff too.
Yeah, a lot of non-superhero-y stuff.
So
it
those
depends
two
if you
that
want horror or like spy stuff or like the slice of life, as they say, or like comedy or whatever.
Have you ever read the Marvel? What is it called? The Wizard of Oz Marvel stuff?
No, I did see it. Yeah, they had that.
That
like,
looks
Disney
cool.
imprint.
Are the Grimm fairy tale comics look pretty cool?
Oh, Zenoscope, yeah.
Yeah, see, now here's the thing with Zenoscope. Awesome art, like awesome cover because it's a hot chicks, everything's, and then people say the stories are kind of so.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of more like, look at this hot, like Robin Hood chick, you know?
Yeah.
So I've never read any Zenoscope stuff, but the art is
like that's up
fantastic.
my alley. That's why I always thought I might want to give those a shot. And then there's Sex Criminals or Sex.
Yes, I read the first trade of Sex Criminals, and it's really good.
Is that the one you won't say the title of?
No, that's oh wait,
because it's a curse word, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's oh wait, it will come to me.
Yeah, because you're like this one comic. I can't
no, it's called Oh Shit, It's Kim and Kim.
Oh, okay, yeah. Kick Ass. I read those a little bit. They were cool.
I never read that.
Yeah, I read the first I think 1 or 2, and then when it kind of went up to the movie, and then I dropped off. But I read a little bit of that. The guy Robert Kirkman, he does a superhero comic.
Yeah, Invincible just wrapped up. Like
I heard that's a pretty cool book.
Yeah, I have issues 1 through 12, and it's about like a kid who his dad's Superman basically, and then he finds out he has powers, and that kind of goes out from there, and then everybody get powers and stuff. But it ran for like 168. I think it wrapped up at 170.
I stopped Walking Dead around like 120.
People say it's kind of this retread, and
really,
I think it's time to wrap that up.
Yeah, I might get back into it just to kind of finish it because I started it because I really liked the book, and then the show made me angry because it wasn't. Because I wanted to do more with the book and it didn't.
Yeah, kind of.
And it became like the Norman Reedus show, and the show didn't do it for me.
I never got into the zombie thing too much. So I was like, Walking Dead. I wish I would bought the first issue and sold it.
Yeah.
But,
Preacher.
I've never read that, but
I heard that's a good book. Yeah. I heard the show is just as good.
That's why season.
That's really a pretty wild one. Preacher.
Yeah.
Like there's a vampire named Cassidy.
Really?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, British.
I know
Cockney.
Arseface. So
yeah. So the last thing before we're kind of segueing into everything else.
Yeah.
I want to go just back to wrestling. One last thing for wrestling because they've been really good with us with promoting and plugging us. Hopefully I get to sit down and talk to some of them because I don't even know who's doing it for us on the Outbreak side that they're helping us out and they plug our shows and our interviews.
I don't know.
Yeah, I super appreciate it.
Ryan.
Yeah,
probably.
one of them. I told him I messaged Ryan, but he said he has been some stuff going on. He said he's seen messages, but he's just not writing to people just yet. But I would love to help do stuff with them. Like if they have something like they want to give tickets away or anything, like I'm with it. I like the local thing. If anything I can do to help, I do. And that we're kind of doing that by you're their champ and doing that too. They're good guys. They do a good job with the promotions, but. On the Outbreak roster, who I know you have a title fight coming up. We're gonna talk to you as if we're talking to serious business now.
UFC.
Yeah,
this is real life.
You have your title fight coming up with the Wild Child,
Dave Smith. Yes.
I'm not telling you to look past your opponent, but who else on the roster is someone that you always wanted to mix it up with or have a match with?
I mean, there's always people that come and go there, but let me think. I'm trying to think, like Ace Austin, who did that. He's coming to the show, so I'd like to wrestle him.
Yeah.
Who did the video jumping off the basketball hoop. Trying to think of the roster. Well, I've wrestled Ed House before he's there. So like if we wrestle again, that would be cool.
I would like to see you and DB doing something, not just a triple threat. Like
with that 4-way when it was all Andy's.
I think it would be cool because you always do it's always you and 3 other people, or you never really one-on-one.
No, I never.
I think that'd be a cool rivalry.
Yeah, they have a lot of talented people there. I think, like I said, there's always different people coming in. There's one guy that looks exactly like Ciampa. He's maybe not as jacked.
Yeah.
And I forget his name. Maybe it's Max Morrison or something. I seen him. I was like, that looks like
the
Ciampa.
guy who looks like the Seth Rollins. I hope he shows up more at Outbreak, but he's not. He's from the Maryland area.
Oh, okay, yeah, they get a couple Maryland guys.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he did the cool finisher. What was the movie did?
Destino.
Yes.
Yes, he did Destino. The night.
You
get the arm that you grab like this and go up and over like sliced bread.
Yeah. He looks like he'd be someone to watch.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever met him.
Yeah,
I wrestled Louis Rich before. He's a good guy, so I give him a shout out. So I'd wrestle him again. Then, like I said, Yam's the big construction worker. I like to just run into him and like clotheslines and stuff, and him stand there and throw me around
like a big man, small man match.
So there's a couple people there.
Who in that locker room is like right now, Ciampa would be like the back room guy that he's like he takes people under their wing. He tries to help them out. Who's that guy in Outbreak?
I don't know. See, they have like Morgan Troy Mest who've been training people for years and years.
Yeah,
and they trained Vox and Ed House and I believe Yams, a couple of people. So they're kind of there in the background, like I guess as the agents or whatever. And if anyone them. I mean, I've been wrestling for years too, but I don't feel like I'm like, you guys need to do this and slow down.
I think you're very. You're a very, very humble guy.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes you're like you kind of have that blue meanie mentality where you speak when spoken to and listen but don't be heard. Yeah. So you kind of just come in, keep your head down, do what you gotta do, put your show on, and then
I'm not like telling people what to do.
Yeah.
Maybe if they ask me, hey, maybe you should do this or that. Yeah. But so I'm not the Undertaker sitting there like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So some of those guys there. All right, now we can. Do you have any other last wrestling questions where we get into the
just talk wrestling for 7 hours?
Yeah.
Actually, I do.
All right, what you got?
Andy, what is the wildest wrestling move that you have ever done?
That I've done to someone?
Yes.
A DVD off the top of a ladder through a table.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
That was in Lewisburg. I forget Lewistown. Lewistown, the one that's So there's Lewisburg and Lewistown. Lewistown is lower, I think. Lewisburg's closest to the state. It was I think it was like a 3-way ladder match. And the one guy that Bruce Maxwell I actually started training with when I first started, he's like, yeah, I'll go up there. And I was like, what about DVD off it? Like through a table. It's like, okay. I'm like, all right.
How does it feel going through a table?
That wasn't bad at all because that table, it can break and cut you. They always say, the things that are on the bottom of the table, like, did you want to work that and take that off? Sometimes they don't. Like ECW, they don't cut the guy and stuff.
Ooh.
So that didn't have it, but then it does this obviously. So we were there in like top of the ladder, like hitting them, and it's like so I'm like on the ladder, like kind of like front, like sideways, and I got him. I was like, here we go. It's like,
how are you with heights? You don't mind heights?
I don't mind like the ladder. It's not like I don't want to be up on a roof, like fixing the roof or anything. But that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
As long as it's not super high, like an Outbreak, I said I don't want that build. Don't hide that build real high.
Yeah.
And then show me the ladder. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That was a high ladder, and it was a very. I'm not saying the ring's super small, but I mean, if you would have fell off top of the ladder, it could have been bad.
Yeah. But usually when I'm in it, I kind of don't think about that. Like I always tell people that
I walked in, I looked at him, I was like,
that's up there. That's why I said that's up too high. And then they go, get the ladder and try it. I'm like, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Well, I said like if you're on top and they do a spot where someone pushes a ladder to you can't really do that spot from the top where you can like hit the rope because you're out of the ring. I
always said taking the superplex is the scariest thing because you can't see where you're going, so it's just like, and then it feels like you're in the air forever. It's like, oh.
Well, you did a spot in that too where I think you did a suicide dive,
which that's always, I'm always like,
and your feet caught the top rope.
A little bit. You
fell a little short. Well, I think that's where you busted your lip.
I had put the ladder like this, and I forgot to tell the ref to hold the ladder, and he wasn't a seasoned ref where he'd be like, so when I went to dive, it pushed ladder. I didn't really.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, instead of running off now.
Yeah.
But that's as soon as I dive, I'm always afraid. Like right when I go to dive, like it's scary from like me leaving the ring and then I hit the people. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
who just did a suicide dive on Monday Night Raw that was really impressive?
Seth always does them.
It was a woman, a go wrestler. Who was it?
Ruby. I know Sasha does it. Like, ooh, don't hurt yourself.
I think Sasha did a good one. Oh, who was it?
Did they just
Ronda Rousey did a suicide dive.
Yeah, she's starting to do crazy stuff.
Yeah, Ronda just did a suicide. And I'm like, was better than Bella.
Yeah,
because Bria broke her neck twice in consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
But all right, let's transition back to our comic books. We'll kind of get to that. So, me personally, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're crazy," because when it comes to magazines, I'm a physical guy.
Yeah.
But with comics, because I think they're just so hard to come across in shops, and then try to find the right one, and then you go to a shop and the price is like $800 for an issue.
Yeah.
But when I want to read it, so it's not like I'm not trying to collect it. I want to get the story out of it. So I like the digital because I can get like 10 comics like.
Yeah, I think you should run deals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't prefer it like digital because it's kind of weird to tap and then move the bubbles and it's weird to me. I'd rather an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want the story, I would say if you want physical and you want the story, you don't care about like first issues, just buy a trade.
Yeah.
Or an omnibus, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
It's trades. I tell people just get a trade. That's the best way, especially image trades because they start at $10.
Mm-hmm.
So like Sex Criminals or I Hate Fairyland, which is really good. $10 first issue, and like you can read the first 5 issues, and that way, $10 if you don't like it, it wasn't that much of a loss. You know? But it's like a Marvel trade, $24.99. Like,
yeah.
Unless like, I like Spider-Man, so I like this.
What are some of your go-to places that you like to get your books?
Well, I go to.
We'll give some plugs here.
Yeah, Hooked on Comics now, which is in Myerstown, Pennsylvania. So they have a Facebook.
That's a journey.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes. Now here's the thing.
Do you do that like on the way home from work, or if you have like a run?
No, I go like make its own trip there.
Yeah.
So like. I was thinking today, like all the comic book stores, like a lot of times they don't last. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Maybe it's customers, but like you need the online, and you need to sell magic cards to kind of support, unless you're like Mile High Comics or Midtown Comics.
Yeah.
So they sell magic cards, which they have like the Friday Night Magic stuff. But they have this online auction thing every Saturday, and when I share the video or something, where they come on, they sell books live on Facebook, and they make a lot of money on that. They said this is really so like that's kind of helping them. But
are you aware of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some Facebook pages that actually do live auctions. Like my one coworker,
he loves buying books. He's all about it.
On Mad Ox Comics, they do like like 3 hours and like
really?
What's that bidding thing you do where you get like a number or something?
Oh, that's raffling.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They do comic
like
book. I'm in like a whole bunch of comic raffles. That's where I won a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, the one guy because the shop has it's like a wife and husband. They have 2 twin sons, and the one does that.
Yeah, that seems like a good way to make money.
Yeah,
too.
That's the new thing. Basically, you have the Facebook like live stream, and some people will put like a book up and they'll be like, okay, this is the Captain Marvel 1, and we'll start the bidding at $10, and like they'll do that, or they have like several books and they put price tags on it and they switch them out.
Yeah,
but like it's a good idea because then they ship them to wherever, and that way because a lot of people don't live near a comic book store. The closest one for us,
McAdoo,
or
Schuylkill Haven.
That's Schuylkill Haven one. Which they're more about gaming, magic, and board games and stuff like that. Like they do have a comic book selection. I went in, but like I found Hooked on Comics before them, so like, and I just started, and they give you a discount and everything. Yeah, and it's like it's a little bit farther, but like
they're your guys.
Yeah, so I was like, I didn't want to jump to school.
The guy from Golden Unicorn and I don't even know if he's still there in McAdoo.
He's still there, but he's so behind the times.
Really?
Yeah,
he's way too much. Too.
Yeah,
like I remember having. There was like a Green Lantern variants that were only like a month out, and he was like marking them up like $15, and it wasn't even like they didn't even finish out the whole month.
Yeah, he's kind of a shyster. I know I said something like I want the first appearance of Psylocke, which goes for about like $35 to $40. It's a New Mutants annual. I think it's 7 or whatever. And he's like, I have like 6 of them. And I was like, well, how much do you want? And he pulls out the Overstreet price guide. I'm like, what is it, 95? Like, just go on eBay and just get a price, And he's like, oh, 125. I was like, no way. Like, I seen it on eBay for cheaper, and I did actually got for much cheaper. So I went there once and
I was working on the New 52 Batman series.
Okay.
I really like that got me back into comics.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get I think I'm missing like 1 through 4.
Okay.
And then I have like 4, and I have all the way up through Endgame. Like I have a pretty decent New 52 Batman.
I have every single one.
Do you really? Yeah, I'm missing a few of them. But I was trying to get some of those, and it's just hard for me to shell out the money.
Especially when it's like, I don't really,
Yeah, I'm not.
The best, I tell people, go on eBay and try and get a lot, because a lot of times you get the cheaper, you get one through. And even if you have some of them, it might be cheaper to buy them again in a lot for $50 than buy the single issues.
Yeah. But so that's why I'm looking at doing that. Like I was doing that for a while, but it's just hard for me to get into the books because it's just, like I said, finding places. I'm not very educated on what prices are, so I'm going somewhere like that.
And some people might shiest you. And, there's just some good people. And then because I was going to a place in Reading called One Collectibles, and the owner was kind of crappy. That it went downhill. It was great, and then it went downhill because they weren't paying bills and the comics were always late and all that stuff. So when that went down, I was like, well, I gotta find a new store. So I was like, let's you can go on Comic Shop Locator, and it's like there's the one School Haven wasn't there yet, and I didn't know about Hooked on Comics. So there's Dimension X in Harrisburg, there's the Encounter in Allentown, and Comics on the Green in Scranton. So I'm like, either way is an hour. What's the closest one? So I even wrote down the mileage and how long it would take. And then I was like, well, I guess Dimension X, because I didn't want to go to Scranton all the time, because you have to park downtown and pay for the meter. No big deal, but I don't want to do that. Allentown, you have to go past the airport to get to Encounter. That's where my tag partner goes. And I was like, I don't want to drive that either. And I was like, well, Dimension X it is. And there's Golden Eagle in Reading, but they're kind of crappy too.
Yeah. Well, they moved out of the mall, and they have their own freestanding store now.
Have you been in there since?
No, I haven't.
I haven't, and
I've been there quite a few times.
Yeah, they're all right, and I was like, I don't really want to go there either. So, but then I found Hooked on Comics because I guess I went. They started maybe a year, maybe a little less, and then then they moved to the one place in Myerstown. They just moved to another place in Myerstown, but that's why I started going. I was like, well, it's 45 minutes, sometimes a little less, and they're real nice. So
yeah. That seems like that'd be a cool thing to do trips with friends. Like, hey, let's go to Allentown, and like I know we were doing that for a while. Like going to find video games, we would look for like video game shops. What was the one we found in on Facebook? And
that was in York.
Is it Steve?
I'm trying to think.
Steve's Games. Oh no, it rhymes.
I don't know, but it was really nice. They were really cool. They gave us some good deals that we worked out, and then we left there. And there's like a arcade, and you pay by the hour, and all the games. It's like free. Old school, like the old
Dog and stuff.
Like they had like Cowboys of Moo Mesa, and that's a really tough.
They had WrestleFest.
Oh wow!
They had the original WrestleFest.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just unlimited free play.
Yeah.
But you just pay for like an hour or 2 hours. Yeah, and then they had like couches with Xboxes and PlayStations, and they had the old X-Men beat 'em up. They had the Simpsons beat 'em up. They had Time Crisis. Like a lot of really cool things.
Cool.
And even pinball machines too. If you're
Elvira pinball machine.
Yeah, I like that one. Ooh.
Yeah, I think the Elvira was broke though. We couldn't play it. Yeah, they had the Jurassic Park one with the T-Rex.
Oh yeah,
that was a cool one. They had the Ghostbusters one.
There's a Playboy one.
He didn't have the Playboy one. I think he had the Aerosmith one.
Okay, yeah. Revolution X.
Yeah, they had a lot of cool stuff. Like so, that was a cool time. But yeah, the comic book stuff is fun. Have you looked into the DC Unlimited subscription yet?
No, because it's an error. I view it as an error streaming service.
Yeah,
and it's like it is comics and shows and stuff. I'm like, I get so many. Like I have Netflix.
The only thing that would be enticing for me with that is I signed up for just a free membership for 7 days, and I was on there. I was like, I would love to go back and watch all the animated series.
All the movies, they're on there, right?
All the movies, but like Batman animated series, then like the Batman Beyond, Justice League Ultimate.
Yeah.
But you go on, and the animated series has like season 1, episode 3, 7.
It's like not like they did season 1.
Yeah, like I thought if you're going to be charging me $20 a month or whatever it is, or
it should have everything.
I should be able to go on there and see Batman. The animated series and season 1 through 9 should be on there, and I could watch them
every episode. Yeah,
like I think if you're starting a streaming service and you're just cherry picking, like that's not a good way to start it.
No, I don't.
Definitely.
And then I don't know. I didn't look at the comic book selection, but the way they are making it seem like is if you go on there, their entire comic book selection's on there as well.
I think it's more stories.
They pick and choose again.
Here's Identity Crisis. Here's Infinite Crisis.
Yes, I would love to go on and be like, I want to read from Batman 1.
Yeah, if you wanted to. Yeah. That's like, how it should be. I get maybe eventually it will.
I think that's what I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to wait it out and see what it does, and then if they go back and say, because they can do cool stuff too, where like I think the WWE Network should do this too. I think you should go on the WWE Network and then just say like, here's the timeline. Like pay-per-view, the Raw, the SmackDown.
Like, here's 1986.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just watch 1986 throughout. Like, this was the show, like, Sunday night, like, and it puts it in time.
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
I could do that. And they don't do it, which is crazy to me. I think that would be so much better. So, like, you go to, like, 1991, and you're like, I want to watch everything that leads up to, story-wise, to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And you're like, Raw, SmackDown, Sunday Night Heat or something, like, and just kind of watch that storyline, because you could watch all the Raws and then you watch Raw, and then you're like, well, what happened in between? Then you have to go back and go through menus and then find SmackDown. Like, I think you should be able to put them in like chronological order.
That'd be pretty cool, because it's a lot of work if you want to actually go back and watch.
Yes,
it.
yeah. I'm very like
SmackDown.
With streaming services, it has to be like neat for me like that. So like the DC one wasn't there yet, and I backed out right away.
Like, I'd love to watch the Harley Quinn cartoon, but like, I'll just buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah. Gotham by Gaslight just came out. I didn't get to see that yet.
Oh, the anime? Yeah, I didn't see that. I'm way behind the DC
So
movies.
am I.
There's a couple good ones coming out. There's like Reign of Superman. There's another Wonder Woman coming out.
I thought I think my favorite one in a long time was the Flashpoint one.
Flashpoint one's good, yeah.
Really, really good. And like I said, I was a really big fan of the New 52 when they did it. A lot of people weren't, I guess. It was like...
Because they changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like, you know what I mean, like... You don't always have to make a new character. Maybe just let the younger guy come in and tell his own story. Like Frank Miller kind of gave you his own interpretation of Daredevil, and that kind of became canon.
Yeah,
like let a guy come in and kind of retell a story, like, and give somebody a different origin story. Like, let them try it.
Yeah,
you know
a
what
lot of people were mad because they kept some stuff, and then some people they changed. Like Green
Lantern, the Joker, they
can't
can't seem to file what they want to do with the Joker.
Yeah,
like he's too mystique. Like no one can give him a. But like New 52 was kind of doing that, where he's like immortal, and then like and then like they did it over with
the Diagnosis or whatever that chemical. Or
and then it was like kind of the Watchmen joined DC.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
That was the whole Button storyline. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
but like there's the Doomsday Clock comic, and the thing that kills that is it comes out every 2 months.
Really?
Like, yeah. So you read it, and
so like, Superman right now in the comics, there's 2 Supermans.
No, they got rid of that.
Oh, they got rid of that.
Yeah, the New 52 guy somehow dissipated, and then his powers went into. This is really dark. Linda Lang, and she became Superwoman for a hot minute, and they canceled her book, and now she's not Superwoman. And then Lois Lane got powers, and she kind of died, and she's back. So now Lois is normal, and just regular Superman is Superman, and he has his underwear again.
So that was the Superman that Doomsday killed.
Yes.
So like the way they did it was Doomsday killed that Superman. He went into hiding, and then another Superman showed up.
Kind of like the Superman that came back was the New 52 one. It's really confusing.
Yeah.
It's almost too much. But like when New 52 started, it's like this is the same Superman. But like there was a 5-year period, but Doomsday still killed him. But they didn't like talk about it. And like in that 5-year period, Batman went through 5 Robins. It's like. Okay, so like that start's a little weird.
The Batman storyline was really good though.
The Death of the Family. I thought the only thing that sucks is that doesn't suck. It's too long winded. The 0 year. Like, years ago with Riddler, I thought that went on way too long. It
went on really long, but I still thought it tied up very well.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was Jeff John and Jim.
No, it was the whole run was Greg Capullo doing art and Scott Snyder writing.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, that was
12 issues that could have been 6.
And then yes, I agree. And then they did the one with the flower guy. I thought he was pretty cool. Then the Court of Owls. Court of Owls is hands down one of my favorites.
That was brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, the Court of Owls was one of my favorites. And then when they did when they brought back the when they went from New 52 to
Rebirth.
What's that?
Rebirth.
The Rebirth.
Yeah.
And they did the whole Wally West coming back.
Yeah,
and
that was great.
That was such a good book. Like the Rebirth 1, where Batman's like, he's like, I know you know who I am. Like he's begging and pleading and like, and then he's like trying to come back. And he goes, if someone doesn't say who I am, I can't. Like, that was a good book.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
But then like, Jeff Johns wrote that, and then they kind of hand off to the other writers and kind of loses steam. I mean, the guy that writes Flash is real good, but I dropped that Josh Williamson, and then Tom King's writing Batman. And now they had the Button, which is real good, kind of brought that back, and then it's kind of like, now they're doing it out there.
Yeah, and then they made Aquaman like a badass.
Yeah,
in New 52 they kind of made Aquaman like no more of a joke.
Yeah, like I think the whole thing was Aquaman knows that people make fun of him and everything, and like Jeff Johns was writing that. So the first 4 trades of Aquaman are fantastic. The first one's really good. And like, you just talk to fish, Aquaman. So I'll show you. And he's like making this big wave,
killing people.
And he's kicking ass and stuff.
Do you think they ever change his look and make him look like Jason?
Well, now he's long blonde hair again, but he had that before, and he had the hook for a hand, and he had the water hand.
Yeah.
So he'll never be not white.
You don't think so?
No, unless he dies and there's an Air Aquaman.
Yeah.
He's always going to be, but like they try to make him look as much as he can like he has the beard and his long blonde hair now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Jason Momoa has a great look.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into men, but if I was a chick, Jason Momoa, like, I don't understand how that guy's not the most attractive man.
Yeah.
Every year.
That's what they said. Like, everyone thought he was going to win that last year. I forget who did. Maybe he did win it.
I don't know.
Maybe it was 2 years ago. They
should just not even have the contest anymore. Like, I just think he should win. Like, he's just here. Like, who's beating that guy? Yeah. And he's funny. He's good. Like, I have to go see the movie. I heard it's really good. I haven't seen
it yet. I'd love to. The whole not having a theater thing sucks.
Yeah. And I'm not driving too far.
Now, see, I felt like that he could have been a better Lobo. That's just my opinion, because he just has that attitude, and it's just like, he had to put maybe 10, 15 more pounds to make him a little bit beefier, but he could probably pull that off better than anybody.
You got to make him gray and red, black and stuff. But
he would dig that, man. Easy to do.
Yeah, because he keep his hair and stuff.
Yeah,
like he's good for Aquaman. It's a different Aquaman, but whatever.
Immortal biker. How the hell can you? That's a good selling point.
He killed all his race to be the last of his race.
So we're gonna dive into the last little thing we talked a little bit about here. We're gonna rewind you back to your childhood.
Okay.
Your video games.
Uh-huh.
What was your first experience with that, exposure with that?
Nintendo. I remember my friend. I didn't have one at first, so my friend did at the time, and he had Mario 1 and Mario 2 because they were both out at the time, and then 3 just came out. So that was the first ones I remember playing, like Mario 1, and then 2, and then 3. So it was like Nintendo, and then it was a while before I played Mega Man, and they had Zelda. So it was basically Nintendo. Like, I didn't see the Master System until years later, and I was like, "Oh, Sega Master, what's that?"
I've never owned a Sega system.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
Every run, I kind of, maybe because it was like the way I was as a kid with WB is the same way I was with my video game system. So I was a Nintendo kid. Like, there was no, you weren't like,
really?
My cousin's like, I got a Sega. I was like, I don't care. And then I go over and they'd be like, and then I'd be like, oh man, this X-Men game is really cool. Yeah. I'm like, why can't I play this on Nintendo?
Yeah.
And it was like, and then I was like, I really like Toe Jam and Earl.
There's an X-Men on Nintendo, but it's terrible.
Yeah. The Genesis one was really good.
Yeah, 2 is even better. I just beat that again last year. I had to cheat though, because it gets way hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had almost every major system aside from the hard to get ones.
I just recently just got a GameCube. I'd never had a GameCube.
Really?
I never had a Wii, and then I got the Wii U.
See, the Wii U I thought was trash. I never even looked at it.
Yeah, I bought it. I bought it for Mario Kart and stuff. I enjoyed it.
And then when the Wii came out, I was like, I don't want to do this. I remember I played Zelda. I was like, no. And I got, because Zelda also came out on GameCube because it was still going at the time.
Yeah.
And my friend had the Dragon Ball game. I was like, nah, I don't like no.
The Wii was tough. The Wii U, I liked the Wii U because you could put the controllers in and still do stuff. And then obviously the Switch. But we were talking a little bit about in the chat about how they're making Ultimate Alliance again.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, everyone's like, Ultimate Alliance was really good, but then you brought it up, and it was a game that I loved playing a lot.
Legends.
The X-Men Legends and X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
They were really good.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were really good. Nightcrawler is overpowered in 1, not so much in 2.
Yeah.
It might be that way around. Wolverine is also.
Then they had another one that was based on like the show, the X-Men Evolution, that was kind of like
I didn't play that one. Yeah, I don't have that one, but yeah.
Yeah, they were really fun.
They were fun.
Top-down dungeon scroller type games.
That were based off, what's it called? The D&D game.
Kind of like Diablo.
Yeah, and Champions of Norath is the EverQuest
Oh my god,
ones.
You're like the only person I ever know. I have Champions 1.
There's a sequel to it. It's
Champions of Norath, Return to Nor or something.
Yeah, I have it.
They're both so good.
The D&D one is called. I have it. And it's for regular Xbox.
I'm trying to find Champions 2.
Really?
Yeah, I could buy it online, but it's one of those ones I want to find in the wild.
Or something.
Yeah, they were my favorite games.
I like them games like that. The only thing that sucks when we play 2 people and you look at your inventory screens, like, okay, I gotta look at my inventory now.
Yeah.
And you just gotta sit there and like, right.
Yep. We used to play that so long. My buddy Brett, he would literally fall asleep and he would just run his character.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
run to the wall.
Yeah.
I like them dungeon crawlers. Dungeon Siege 3. I just got that for $5.
Nothing ever filled that void to me as much as Champions did, though. Like,
really?
I played Diablo. I was like, this is fun. Like, Diablo came to the console.
I was never super into
Diablo. I was like, this is all right. But I'm like, it's not Champions.
Yeah.
Like, Champions, when you were an archer, you had to, like, pick your shot. Like, it was really... And we found a little glitch where you can get, like, the bear. Remember the bear, like... the bear gave you X, so you can carry like an infinite amount of bears and have the super strong. And then there was a way you could do it with the dexterity. So I used we had our characters so figured out, and this is before like the internet and stuff, like you looking stuff online, but like we could literally kill the last boss on the hardest difficulty with one hit.
That's something. That's like did you ever play Justice League Heroes?
Yeah, I never played it, but I heard it was really good.
It's fun. I have it. I did replay that again last year. I had Superman Batman so leveled up that it was I guess you fight Darkseid. It's either Darkseid or something. That's by the last boss.
Yeah.
And it was just like turbo charge, punch, boom, dead. And I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Superman.
I'm really happy that Marvel Alliance has come back and it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, it's only Switch. It might be a little bit different, but as long as it's the core basic, gameplay.
And then I can go online and put 3 of my friends in and we can play. I'm in. Or like you hand someone, like if you could do it, keep it to a Joy-Con.
I wonder if because it's attack, jump,
Yes.
You don't need a bunch of buttons.
This way, if I have a Joy-Con and
the tabletop,
it's
thing.
always two people.
Yeah.
Like here's here, and then you have yours, and we could share. Like we could each look at a system and like link it.
Yeah.
And then you have 4. That would be
cool.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
I would get it too.
Just have parties, just all 4 of you, just do it.
A LAN party with Marvel Switches.
Oh my god. Loved used to doing Halo LAN parties. I used to go. It was on thing? Nice Street with like Greg Humph and a whole bunch of them. I used to get a case of like the Balls energy drinks.
Oh yeah,
and like we'd be bouncing off like 4 or 5 of them. We're bouncing off the Raws. One's in the kitchen. God damn it, you're shopping! Yeah. And they're like, oh man, it's so
we used to do that with Halo. We did that with Halo. And then my buddy Brett, we used to go to his house, and the one time like yo, your dad's. I don't know why we thought he was gonna be angry about it, like, but we're like, your dad's gonna be pissed, but like, here's what we're gonna do, because you have like his living room was huge, and he had a white wall.
Yeah.
So we're like, here's what we're gonna do. Before your dad gets home from work and your mom's not there, no one's home, we're gonna take all the furniture and move it to one side of the room. We're gonna take all the photos off the wall and just like, because his mom like decorated and stuff. We took everything off the wall and we had one giant wall, and we're like, we had a projector, and then we put the projector on the screen, and then we were all playing Halo, and we're just like, we're into it, and we're like, all right, just keep track of the time, and we lost track of time. And all of a sudden, we're like, he walks in and he just looks at the wall, and he looks at the furniture, and he looks like, and he looks at all the pictures like stacked on the ground, and we're like, shit, he's gonna kill us. He's gonna kill us. And he literally looked and goes, you're putting it back in the morning, right? And we're like, 100%. And he goes, give me a controller. And he played the whole night with us.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Yeah, it was, and he played the whole time. We had such a good time. And he was I was the weak link, so I sucked at Halo.
Yeah, I'm never real good at shooters.
But when he played, he was the weak link. So I used to get all my kills off him because he was horrible. He was just as bad as me. So we had a lot of fun, like that. Old school LAN, like playing games and stuff. It's a dying art. It's definitely not there anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna hook 2 Xboxes up.
Yeah,
like, why?
That's why I really hope we get to the point where we can do the Let's Plays and do them upstairs and have like all of us sitting and passing the controller. It'd be a lot of fun. But I know we really didn't dive too much. I mean, we dived a bit into your interest with the comic books and stuff like that. Is there anything like about you that maybe so many people don't know, or anything you're willing to talk about, or you want to put out there, like?
I guess any questions I'll answer. I don't mind.
I just don't know where to go. Like, I'm just like, have you ever had any struggles growing up? Like,
you know what? Like people always say like drama and stuff like that. I've been lucky. I've never had like.
Just always see like you're a super chill guy.
I've never been abused. I've never had like hard times. I've never been like stressed for money or anything. Yeah. So I've always like, I'm really laid back and just easygoing because I've never really had stuff. I mean, I've seen people struggle and stuff, so I can feel for them, but like I've never had anything terrible happen, like no one died in front of me or anything like that, or I was never like beat up or like
you never picked on, bullied,
like a little bit, but no more than anybody else. So you've curly hair, stupid stuff that kids make fun of, but I've never really had it tough. I've never been addicted to drugs. I don't even drink. I don't smoke. I've never been arrested. I've never like dated somebody and we've been fighting and I get arrested or something.
No baby mama drama.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't want kids. I don't like kids. So
you're like a very zen guy.
Yeah, it's like people are like, "Well, you smoke a lot of weed." I'm like, "No, I did once and I hated it." It's like, like no. Oh, okay. It's like
you're very straight edge. Like you don't drink, don't smoke.
I don't know. I never smoked a cigarette. I just never had an interest. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Have you ever tried alcohol?
I tried it. I don't.
It's not for you.
It was like. when I was a kid growing up, you always seen like commercials like, "Hey, it's a party time, beer, drinking beers on the beach," and it looks so fun. And everyone's like, "Oh, can't wait to get home and drink."
And you're like, "What the fuck?"
And I remember the first time I ever like tried a beer, I was like, "Ugh, like this is terrible." And the first thought I thought of was like, Kool-Aid's better than this.
Yeah.
Like soda's better than this. Orange juice is even better than this. I was like, no. And I remember like my friends at the time, like I don't know, 16, 17, like, let's drink beers. I'm like, no, I just don't.
Not about it.
Yeah, and I tried for a little bit, and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like
you do come across me as someone like you just kind of beat your own drum. Like you're into what you're into. Yeah. Either you like me or you don't like me.
If I want to dress like Wonder Woman, that's my business.
How did you get into that?
I just like Supergirl one time when we had the band thing, which we didn't even talk about at all.
The band?
Yeah. So I was in a couple bands with Andy Hare and like Danny Jaranis and stuff.
What do you play?
I play bass, and I play guitar and bass.
I did not know you were a musician.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
I mean, I haven't done it in years. I still have my guitars and stuff. I could never really solo. I always went there, like, I couldn't be like, oh.
Andy's very talented.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah, because he stayed with. I mean, I don't really play here and there. I'll try and mess around. I also can sing a little bit, so more like Judas Priest style. But
yeah.
We had a show, and we had like a Halloween show, and I was like, I'm gonna dress up like Supergirl. Wouldn't that be crazy? Because I always liked the girl characters, you know, because I guess because I was raised by my mom and just always had females around. So like, to me, like, women are like the safe place. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Not too
100%.
psychologically deep. So that's probably why I like female characters. Like, I'm gonna be Supergirl, and I was, and I was like, I look pretty good. So like, I learned I gotta do makeup stuff through YouTube and everything, and that's like, well, for Halloween, I'm gonna be a girl character and a guy character. And that's how that kind of took off from there.
Yeah.
So Supergirl's the first one I ever
So then
did.
you start doing like Comic-Cons and...
Yeah, and I was like, the first one I didn't want to dress up as anything because I just wanted to take it in and see what it was all about. Like, because New York Con, like, that's... When you go there, like, this is pretty overwhelming. So I was like, I don't want to dress up like anything at all.
Absolutely. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I've never done a big con.
Yeah, it's only...
The only thing I've ever done was I did Steel City Con. That was the only con I've ever been to. I'd like to experience more.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
They're fun. I would tell people maybe don't jump head first and deep in like I did and do New York first thing right off the bat.
So my brother right now is stationed in San Diego.
Oh, okay. That's the biggest.
Yeah, so hopefully we're going to see what it looks like when it comes time. Maybe not this year, but next year. Because he's going to be stationed there for a little bit, possibly. So I mean, if you want to get a group of us, and you try it. Yeah. I mean, he probably has somewhere for us to crash, or we could figure that out. But that's something we're looking at doing possibly in 2 years.
Yeah, they said that's the biggest. They did say, like, I think it was not last year, but the year before, that New York possibly might have more people per square foot.
But I think they save the big stuff for San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego is physically bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get to see a lot of more celebrities. Like you could get like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, like the
big celebrities.
Jared Leto walked around with a Rafiki head on.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like that happens in New York too. But it was like the voice of. The one monster on Big Mouth. I don't know if you watched that show on Netflix, which was really funny.
Oh, Hormone Monster.
Yeah. I saw whatever that guy's name is. He was walking around with a mask, and he took it off like, oh, it's actually him.
Yeah.
But so I mean, there's some stars. I don't really go to meet the stars. I go to meet the.
Who was your first cosplay you did? I see you did a Nightwing. You did a Daredevil.
That was probably the first one. Yeah, the Daredevil one, but the pants actually ripped that right in the ass. I was like, oh my god, And the mask was all right. I made a Bane costume. It was really cool. I made the whole tank out of 2 liters, and I put like lights behind it and stuff, and just water in it, and like put a tin foil and cardboard, and like I ran like a light like around into my thing. So
That's awesome.
A Bane Lucha mask.
I always wanted to do Batman. Like, so I dress up as
expensive.
Yes, and the thing with me is, if I'm going to do Batman, it's got to look legit. Like, I don't want to look like a schmuck.
Yeah, and the cowl and the cape might cost you $400.
Yes. So I always, growing up, they're like, oh, dress up as Batman. I'm like, no. They're like, why? Because I won't do it.
Unless you're Adam West and get that for like $60.
Yes. But I broke my rule because down here at they every year, actually it would be really fun to get more people involved with it, because I think it would do really well, and you already have the long hair, so you could definitely pull something off of you. They do every year down at the Elks for kids with autism, and so they set up an obstacle course, and then they go through the obstacle course, and then they bust through, and I'm dressed up as like a Halloween Batman.
Oh, that's cool.
And they have to free me, and then they get a picture. But like anyone who goes down there, like if you were to go down there with your Nightwing or any superhero, the kids eat it up. Like
Really?
they love it. Like
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
you were a
it's
kid,
like,
you're this is awesome.
yeah. So every year I go, like they're like, "Where's Batman? Where's Batman?" So I'm like, I have to do like usually I have my beard, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to shave the beard.
Yeah.
You know what I
Or
mean?
at least trim it down all the way when Batman's a hard time.
Yeah,
Saying it's this
and I do it every year. And it's so much fun. But I always look at the costume like, I wish if I ever hit the lottery, I think one of the first things I would do is I would buy like an official Batman suit.
Yeah.
And I would like use it for like kids parties
There
and
you
stuff.
go.
Yeah.
Well, now they make they wear the Zentai suits or whatever, but now that the technology's getting really good with like the muscle sculpting in it, or not that it just looks like it's just printing. Like,
yeah, but then I'm like fat.
Yeah, but it looks like muscles. But you can get one of them and then get the utility belt and the boots and the cape and gloves and stuff. Because I looked at Batman, I was like, it's a little expensive.
Yeah,
you know?
And I think if I were to do Batman, I would have to do. I like the Jim Lee blue and gray.
No, okay.
I'm a blue and gray Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know who your preference is. Are
you know, I thought would be a cool one, a cool costume. I'd like to do it and probably be kind of easy. Is remember the Nintendo Batman game where he's purple? He's dark purple, light purple.
Yep.
The Sunsoft one.
Yeah.
I think it's like the Sunsoft.
I think I have the toy of that.
I would like to be that Batman.
I know you were collecting those for a while. You did.
Yeah,
Like,
he got
I think
me-
you got Alien versus Predator. You had.
Oh,
No,
they were cool.
I have a Freddy. I have a Freddy. I have a Batman. But
And
the Freddy's not a video game. But the Batman's video game.
and I got
And then
you
got me.
Jason.
He got me the Jason, and the Super Nintendo game.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's cool.
And that opens up and it plays the.
Really?
Yeah, it plays
nice.
the theme.
Like from the digital
From the game,
the
yeah.
6-beat. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's how you got into the dressing up, and then you just something you did every year.
Yeah, just about. I mean, there was like maybe 2 or 3 years where I had wrestling shows and nothing was going on. I wrestled, so I couldn't dress up
Now-
like anything.
With wrestling shows, you used to have another gimmick too. So you had 2 gimmicks so far.
I did my pirate gimmick, and that was inspired by the band Ailstorm. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're awesome. And then it was just something to kind of do on the side, and then like more places started booking it. But the only problem with that is when you're a goofy character, you're kind of like pigeonholed in that, and then that's all you do.
Do you enjoy being a face or a heel?
I kind of like being a heel more, but I'm the goofy. I'm not like Randy Orton. I come out and I'm all serious, like shut up, like I'd rather be the goofball.
Yeah.
And have fun doing that like that and yell and scream.
What are some of your favorite experiences? Not just wrestling, like going up to like kids and stuff like that. Like, does that do it for you at all? Like, I think that would be the biggest thing for me if I was a wrestler is like giving back to a kid.
Yeah,
like,
it is cool. Like when kids was like, "Oh, I really like you." Like, "Oh, you're my favorite." I'm like, "Yeah, right." John Cena's probably your favorite. But it's cool. And like, I know this one girl. She would come to the shows. I forget where it was. I think it was LCW, and she would like make bracelets for the wrestlers, like them twisty things, and she would make her colors. And I was like, "That's pretty cool." She made me a purple and green one. I still have it.
Yeah,
I had like in my car and like with my shifter for like years.
That's the kind of stuff that I would eat up. Like I would like that because only like. So I know me and my buddy Steve, he gets pissed. He's like, "Oh, I hate how it's so kiddie and it's not PG-13 anymore and it's terrible." Well, when I was a kid, they did all this crazy bad stuff, and I'm like, yeah. I said, so on one aspect, you have people telling kids that they're not kids anymore and that they need to grow up and they need to do this, or their kids are seeing too much stuff. I said, I think wrestling's one of those things where I think it should stay where it is. And I think they should have the campy stuff, and I think they should appeal to the kids.
There's
because
room for everything.
It is, and like one of the biggest things that got me back into wrestling was the Connor thing.
Okay.
Like I watched that, I was like it brought me back. Like that's like being a kid, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Like it's not about like I sometimes get upset with the stories and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm like I think like. There's probably a little kid who's enjoying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless it's really terrible. Like Bobby Lashley's sister.
And I think a lot of the adults who are upset about the way wrestling is now, and especially if you're watching it with your kid and you're like, this stuff is garbage. If you would have seen it back, like don't ruin that kid's experience.
Yeah.
Like you may not like it because what you grew up is different, but they're enjoying it.
Yeah,
you know what I
A
mean?
lot of people
Like
say, well, PG's terrible, but no, well, Hogan and Warrior, that was all PG.
Yeah.
Nobody said fuck or shit, right?
Yeah, and they weren't like. I mean, DX was like literally having girls dump their kids out.
Yeah. You weren't seeing no one's ass back then. I mean, Miss Elizabeth took off her dress and she had like a bathing suit on. And people were like, oh my god,
holy crap!
yeah, but that was good, and that was PG.
So like when I go to wrestling shows and I hear like during your main event there was a kid there and he was dropping F-bombs and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
much.
like
I can see if it was
hardcore.
Yeah, if it's like
I mean,
I'm a heckler.
show.
I like to heckle. I like to yell stuff. But even like like when people yell stuff that's like super inappropriate, I'm like, yo, this is still for kids. Like, don't like this is not an ECW show. Like, look around. There's kids here. There's some adults there that maybe have some disabilities.
Yeah, there usually is, and they love the show. So
so don't ruin it for everybody else being a like. If you want to heckle, be like, you suck. Like, that's part of the show. But like, F you. Like, don't ruin it for somebody.
Start getting racial. Or like, sexual slurs. Like, nah, don't.
Like, when a girl comes, like, when we were at the one wrestling show, the one girl came out and they were making fun of her weight and stuff. I'm like, that's not cool. Like, she's still performing. Like, she probably goes and punches a time clock every day, and then this is like her second thing of being wrestler. Like, so like I definitely get that, and I wish that would be something that wrestling fans would think about a little more when they go to shows. They're
terrible. Like, like we go on the internet, you're like, wow, wrestling fans are the worst. Like,
and the same thing with UFC and everything else I'm into. Like, you always have that one fan that you'll never please them. You'll never please anybody.
No, they're not happy.
Yeah.
Put the belt on anybody. Oh no, who had the belt?
I hate the fact that they give it to everybody. People, it's also expected.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal, hate it.
Yeah.
That was the exactly what you were asking for. Is what
Charlotte
they gave
always has the belt, and then like Oscar was like, what did she win? It's like, what did you want?
Yeah, like, just get over yourself.
Yeah, that's how wrestling.
They don't want
are.
anything fun.
Yeah, like they complain no matter what. Like the AEW press conference, they're like, who's this guy? I don't know who that is.
Well, the two guys that came out, I was like, I have no idea who this guy is. Like, I don't know the Connor joke. Who the f is that guy?
Yeah, it's like, what do you think they're gonna start off with the big guns and then have nobody's come out? No,
I was hoping to hear like maybe a TV deal and stuff, but I understand how green it is.
Yeah.
I still think they should have did it in the stadium. It looked really campy sitting in the parking lot.
They should have did some indoors. But that they want to do the fireworks and stuff. So.
But I mean, it was a good show. I'm still excited for it. The only thing I have some reservations, and I get people are gonna. It's not live, so I'm not really worried about it now. But I'm worried that your guys who run the show are going to be the top booked guys all the time.
I think they know enough to be like.
I hope not.
Yeah,
but then again, you lose credibility if you're Cody Rhodes and you're the president, and then you go out and you're getting smashed every week because you don't want to overbook yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get a balance.
There's definitely gonna be growing pains there.
Like,
I just hope
he's not gonna be a jobber, but he should be world champion all the time, like Jeff Jarrett in TNA 2007.
Yeah, they're gonna go through growing pains, but I think they have enough people around them that I think they're gonna do all right.
Yeah, and like that guy, he was apparently just a real good. Interview on the Xbox podcast. He interviews Tony Khan. He's like the guy. He's gonna be like head creative and stuff.
Tony Khan's a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah, and he said talk about how he used to go to ECW Arena and watch shows and stuff. So like, and his dad's
scary,
like super into it too.
It's crazy to know that Vince is not the big dog throwing money around anymore.
Yeah, you got these two guys that
like Vince McMahon just recently hit his highest worth because he saw with the two deals he did, the Saudi Arabia and the SmackDown deal, and he just hit like $2 billion. Like the Khans have like 7 or 8 billion.
Yeah,
he's not like
they own the Jaguars. I mean, come on. I mean, Vince has XFL, but
so they have money to play with this.
Yeah,
they definitely have money to play. The only thing that worries me too is they're trying too hard to do that. Everyone gets paid equally, and that's I don't think
the way it's not across the board. So Kenny Omega isn't making them the same as Britt Baker. That makes no sense. And they should.
You have something. You have to work for it.
To sign me, and they would sign like a girl my level. We would get the same starting rate.
Yes.
That makes sense.
100%. Yeah. Or like if you're billed for the first match of the night and someone's billed for the last match of the night, they shouldn't get paid the same.
No, because there's a bigger draw. Chris Jericho should get more than Maxwell Jacob Friedman. JF, definitely. And then someone said it's like this too, and make it understand. Roman's in the main event, Charlotte's in the main event. They get paid the same.
Yes.
Rather than Roman gets way more.
Yes.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm trying to think of anything else we can cover here.
Yeah, I could talk video games for
Hey, here's a fun thing I thought of just recently. Have you ever watched that Kaiju wrestling show?
The Kaiju Big Battle.
Yeah,
I watched a couple of them, and the one guy...
He's all about it. I was like, I don't want to watch that.
Drew Cordero is like, he's in charge of it. He used to come to when we have shows in Mount Carmel and stuff. Oh my God. And I never got into it. It is kind of crazy. I like how they set the little city and the monsters wrestle. There's a lot of guys that, like, I think... Generico, where Sami Zayn did that, Colt Cabana. So there's a lot of guys that were under the costumes because they just get whoever,
Yeah, Tyler Bugwash told me about that when he was going to WrestleMania in Florida.
Yeah.
It was like for WrestleMania 34, 33, 34. He told me about it. I go, get the hell out of here. And they showed me pictures and they're all dressed up. I'm like, I would so watch that.
It's something. They don't have shows all the time, but it's something to go for a spectacle. You know, it's not a weekly thing where
it's a pretty good gimmick. You gotta admit that.
It is. It's funny.
Oh my god.
You know, like, I really hope Dr. Robot or whatever is going for the title this week. I forget Dr. Cube or something.
Yeah.
They have wild characters.
Just like it's like watching like wrestling Power Rangers.
Yeah, or what was the cartoon? Ultimate Muscle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you know that?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Which I have the game and it runs off the 64 engine.
Really?
Yeah, but it's really weird because like there'd be guys that have like 3 heads and you go and pick them up and their arm goes through the heads and stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't think about that.
No. It's like we have all these crazy characters, like the guy with the horse for head, like the knight from chess. Like he doesn't look right when he wrestles.
So if you had since it's tough because you're so zen and you're so like just go with the flow type person.
Me up.
Andy, I have to say one thing, and it's been stewing in my head for a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
You are like a wrestling Fred Savage. Like when you talk, you sound like Fred Savage
Really?
a little bit.
I
think
never
you
heard
do.
that.
I think you do.
Now he's the Wonder Years guy, right? Not
the Wonder Years. Yeah.
He's
Wonder
not the Boy Meets World.
Right,
brother.
right. It's the other. He does like Austin Powers. He's the mole in Austin
okay.
Powers 3
Yeah,
Gold
yeah,
member.
yeah. I don't
But
see
like
that, but
when you talk, like you kind of have like that wholesome,
Really? And
you
you
know
see-
that like voice that Fred Savage.
See, I
has.
never-
He
I
also
never-
did some It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes. Directed them, I think.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
See, I was never in that show, so I probably
love that
wouldn't.
show.
No,
I love it.
Really?
But yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. Like you can
Winnie
go on
Cooper though.
IMDb.
Wow.
Oh,
Hey,
Winnie
now.
Cooper was.
Hey, now.
That
I don't
was
know.
one.
It's just something
Really?
about
I
it.
never got that before. It's always
Topanga.
you look like Matt Hardy. You ever know that? No, I never heard
Well,
that.
of course that, but
Yeah.
like picking out. I usually like picking out voices for different people and like who you sound like or who you look like. That's how I associate, and I
Really?
always do it like out of my heart.
Yeah.
Put it that way, and that's one of the things I had to say. I'm like, listen to Fred Savage a little bit. You'd be like,
I have to listen to Fred Savage. Listen to
kind
talk.
of do.
I couldn't pick his voice out.
He also does the Honda commercials.
Does he? Wow,
Yeah.
how about
You
that?
know way too much about Fred Savage.
Yeah, Fred Savage aficionado.
Yeah, that's a decent one.
What's that?
What fires up Andy? Like, what are some things that push your buttons?
I hate
or-
wet socks. I hate mayonnaise.
You hate red socks.
Wet socks.
Wet socks.
Yeah, it's like when I walk to school in the rain. Oh,
Yeah.
that would infuriate me. I can't stand that. I hate because I work at Pepsi and I fill the shelves. I hate when people leave stuff that's not where it's supposed to be in the store. Like low class people that leave a pound of meat on the shelf. Like, come on, put that back.
Yeah.
Like I hate that. I don't like when people are assholes and people are miserable. Because there's like some people in wrestling, I'm like, wow, that guy's a fucking asshole. I'm thinking, I like wrestling and you like wrestling. I still don't like you.
Yeah.
So like that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't like basic girls. I really hate that.
Have you ever been in a physical altercation in your life?
I think, but like I was really young, so it doesn't really play. You know, kids fight.
You're like the most
I want
chill
that
person
drink.
of all time.
No, I want that in a fight, not
Yeah.
like you know, a serious fight. No, I mean.
I love it.
Yeah, I've been wrestling, but that don't count. Yeah, I haven't never been in a bar fight or nothing.
Yeah,
I
like-
kind of would like to just to see like how would I fare there?
Yeah, like-
would I like hit the DDT or something there? You know?
Would you try to suplex somebody?
Yeah, I think I would because you got to think if you're in a bar fight, you're just gonna watch out for punches and kicks. You don't have to watch out. I got you. Now I could do something here, and I maybe could suplex you. Like
I was
pick up
like,
behind you, drag
my
and
thing is
suplex.
just like if I ever get in a fight. Well, I don't know if I would do it in a bar fight because at that time you literally have to throw a punch and then watch what's coming around you.
Yeah.
But like if I ever get stuck in like a one-on-one, I would love to like. 90% of the people, let's just hope I'm not fighting someone that knows what they're doing. It's just a regular schlub like me, just like an EV matchup. But like
Yeah.
I would like to just choke somebody out.
You just go behind.
Yep. Or even anything, any guilt. I would just.
You probably could like
If you give me enough neck in a fight,
the average
you're going to
person,
sleep.
Like probably thinks they can fight, but they can't. Like they can throw some punches and stuff.
Realistically, if and this is not just, I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy or anything, but like my whole strategy growing up when I was in fights is I'm very good at taking a beating.
Yeah.
Like I can withstand pain and I can stand punches and kicks. As long as you don't knock me out or kick me in the nuts or hit me hard enough where like I have a joint disorder where I lose a joint and I'm like, oh crap, now I have to put my shoulder back in. The average person literally can throw as hard as they possibly can, and this is being generous, for 3 minutes.
And then they're probably
They're exhausted.
yeah, because you think like you start training to box, you'll
Yeah.
be, you know, like when people
So-
go to wrestling, they run the ropes, they can go about 4 times, and then like,
Yeah. So if you're legit in a fight or you're fighting someone and they outsize you and it's a one-on-one situation, for most part, if you can withstand everything they're going to do to you for the first a minute, 2 minutes,
yeah,
unless they're trained, you're in decent shape.
Yeah, I
You know
think
what I
most
mean?
people won't last 30 seconds.
No, and like I said, I'm being very generous with with that time frame, but that's pretty much always been my take when it came to fights. Like, do what you got to do.
Yeah,
Throw what you got to throw. I'm going to protect myself.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to close the distance. I'll probably turtle up.
Yeah.
I won't look cool getting this beaten. But once you're exhausted,
there you go. You capitalize.
now it's my time. Yeah, like
'cause most people just come out throwing like the fences. You know,
yeah, they just throw like a psychopath.
and you get, as they say,
and if you
up.
take it to the top of the head or the top here or the forehead, you're in good shape. They'll probably break their knuckle before your head gives out.
Yeah.
Unless they start throwing kicks, but I mean, you can always grab a kick and twist an ankle or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to be in a
Have you ever thought about possibly like with wrestling, like trying to take like a jiu-jitsu class or?
You know, I would like to take something like that, but I don't. I mean, just what karate and boxing. I think karate doesn't really. I'd like to take something a little bit different. You know, what would be really cool. I always thought capoeira, the dance fighting.
Yeah,
you know, like Eddie Gordo and Christy from Tekken 6 or 5.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool. Three.
I was a huge wrestling fan, and then my wrestling completely fell off, and then I fell into mixed martial arts, and I fell in love with it.
See, I never got into it.
Yeah, I love it. It's such a cool sport. It's one of the most exciting. It's probably, in my opinion, the most exciting sport on the planet. And then I just don't like the politics start getting into it. And then I got back.
Anything.
Then I got back into wrestling, and then I kind of teetered the fence between two. And it's some MMA fans hate when you talk about wrestling, and then some wrestling fans hate when you talk about MMA. I like both.
Yeah, you like both.
Yeah,
like Marvel and DC.
But it's very hard to. I like now that a lot of the wrestlers see the wrestling community is willing to accept the MMA community or the professional side.
Yeah.
The MMA community doesn't want to hear it from the other side. But it's cool because professional wrestling now, they're learning jiu-jitsu and they're learning how to roll and they're learning how to like take punches and kicks a little differently. And that's kind of like that strong style. Like my favorite, one of my, like Ronda, to me, I think she's doing a great job because people like her and Charlotte's match where they were rolling.
Yeah, that looks like a real fight.
It did. It looked legit.
Yeah,
strong
style.
Shayna Blazer, I think she's learned. She's making it look a different way than it's ever looked before. Kenny, what's O'Reilly? What's his name?
O'Reilly?
No, O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle
he has a
O'Reilly.
very MMA infused style.
He looks legit. Like when he rolls, he takes punches. Like because he's known the fighting side, he knows how you should react to a punch, or how you should react to a submission, or how you should get out of a submission or roll. Like that style is making wrestling to me better.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah,
well, New Japan is like hardcore on that. So that's why
well, Japan's always been into the same thing too. They've toted the line where they've had Pride and the fights and then the wrestling, and they kind of cross promoted all the time.
Yeah, and they even had like a shoot fighter, have a match with a wrestler. And stuff. Obviously can't. We got to work that, but they're bigger than that. They're more about treating it as a competition, which I like.
Yes,
I like goofy stuff too, but I don't want a 20-minute promo every time I start the wrestling show.
Yeah, I agree. I thought I had to sneeze. All right, I'm good. Yeah, but yeah, man, it's like. It's just personality. A lot of the personality that I think it's like, I don't want to say this was a tough interview or I feel like a bad interview, but I feel like we've talked and sat down so many times. It's like we're on the
well, there's nothing like I was the Easter Bunny 2 years when I was like,
and you're 20. Such like a zen dude. Like
I don't let stuff bother me. I get tell don't get excited over stuff you have nothing control about. Like like people get upset when it rains. I'm like, why? There's nothing you can do about it unless you own a golf course. Why? There's no reason to be upset. Don't get excited about snow. It's just snow. It's gonna melt. I never get real worried about problems.
Have you always been that way?
Yeah, I've always been laid back and never. Maybe because my mom would get excited about a lot of stuff. I'm like, what are you getting excited? Like, you spilled the drink on the floor. Like, all right, we'll clean it up. It's over.
Yeah.
So that's why I just. Kind of just don't sweat the small stuff, as they say. I love it. Just let things go, and gotta think of like, well, I can get excited about that, or I can start doing this to fix it. Just fix it. It happened. We can't do nothing about it.
What do you see for yourself in the next, let's say, 5 years? Like, what are some goals or something? Like, where would you want yourself to be?
You know what? It's not much different, really.
Really?
Like, I eventually like to get a house. And more so I have more rooms for comics and toys.
Yeah,
because I'm kind of running out of room. But I'm not really interested in marriage. That's not for me. Like
marriage, relationships, kids.
Even like relationships. Like I tried it, and they've always been hard for me. And like it's in recent years I found out like I don't really like it. Like I'd rather just be by myself. Like girls are hot and everything, but like I don't want to have to come home and answer to someone. I don't want rules all the time. I don't want to have to be like, okay, what are we doing today? Well, I'm doing this. I don't know about you.
Being in a relationship would definitely test out your don't sweat the small stuff. It'd be interesting.
I'm not gonna fight over where to eat or nothing. That's nonsense to me. Like, I'm not doing that. Like and that's why it's like I just don't care. Like
do you go on dates or do you try?
I haven't. I haven't been on a date or anything in over 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. I was trying it hardcore for a little while. I was like using Tinder and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing? You know, like it's so hard to meet people. I think, especially around here. Like I always tell people, name one single girl in the area. Name one.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't, it's very hard. And that's this area, which I don't. You know,
it would probably
shit on the area, but
the like. So you're the type of person like. If something would ever attract between you and like the girl would probably have to be the one to come up like, hey, do you want to go do something?
Yeah, I will never.
Because you'd just be like, I'm not going to bother nobody.
No, I never ever initiate it.
So hear that, ladies? If you're into Andy,
send me a message.
You're going to have to do the work.
I'll at least talk to you.
Yeah. He'll take you. You go see Aquaman.
Even if I'm not into you, I'm not going to be rude. Like, fuck you, bitch. You're ugly.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I see it and I'm thinking, you know what? That's like a college. College isn't for everybody. And I don't really think relationships are for me. Like, not to say I never will. I don't really want to get married. I absolutely don't want kids. I just don't. I don't see them.
Not about it?
Nothing about, someone has
Do you have pets? Are you a pet person?
Yeah, I love pets. Yeah, I have a cat. His name's Jabroni.
Jabroni?
Yeah.
Are you more of a cat or a dog person?
I'm more of a cat. I like dogs, too. Dogs are fine. But I have, my apartment, and then you have to go outside and around to go to the back. So I'm like, that'd be kind of a pain to have a dog.
Now, do you have an apartment by yourself? Or do you still live with home?
No, I have an apartment by myself for a few years now. I lived with my mom for a while, more so because it was my grandmother's next door and my mom, so I was kind of like, I guess, the man of the house and like drove and helped them out and stuff. I still did, but I was like, eventually I needed my own space to have my own stuff,
So pretty much you're like, do you have any goals when it comes to wrestling, like things you want to accomplish, or?
I mean, I would love to get just a little bit, like I don't need to be in WWE. I'd love to go to Japan, even if I wrestle for some indie in Japan, that'd be awesome. So I'd love to do that, and if I could get like one match in ROH, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to be on WrestleMania. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I want the money. Yeah, I want the fame. Do I want to drive all that time?
Have you ever seen what it would take to maybe get into like an ROH or an NXT?
Yeah, a lot of times they have like the tryouts or whatever, and sometimes that's a racket. Like Impact had one. It's like, well, if you pay $500, we'll take a look at you. No, I know guys that you took a look at that you didn't pay money, so I don't do that. But like you can learn at the tryouts or seminars or stuff like that. So it's like I always thought you can come to me. I'm not coming to you.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to book me, that's fine. I'll stay home, pet my cat. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I know if I was a little more active and pushed it, but like I don't want to be on tour all the time.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do that. Like that's like if I could wrestle for like a place that would run like ROH runs a little bit more like what ECW back in the day where they had like 3 or 4 shows a month. Perfect.
Yeah. I think the way you have your mentality and what you're looking for, and you're kind of like let it come to you and don't really sweat the small stuff. Now, are you an artist? Do you draw or do you write?
I can draw some. I always thought if I focus more on the drawing, I probably could get a little bit better. But I'm not real good. I would love to be a comic book artist, but I'm not that good.
Yeah. What about writing? Like when it comes to writing stories?
I don't know if I could write a story. I could create characters, create backstories and stuff, but I don't know like when it would come to like dialogue between 2 characters. I don't know how I'd be with that.
I feel like when you're passionate about stuff, you find outlets for it, but you just you go so far and then you kind of like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, kind of. Like I'm crafty. I can make like a lot of my costumes. I make the stuff,
Would you ever see yourself when it gets to a point where maybe wrestling's not a thing, like maybe promoting wrestling or
I'd like to,
or like trying to write stories?
Ring, do something else. Like I could book and do storylines wrestling wise.
I would love to write story. I think
because it's not that you don't have to get word for word like a comic book. I'd be like, well, Spider-Man says this, then Mary Jane says that. That's a lot of in depth. Where I probably
you kind of let the people do what they're doing, but kind of give them where you want them to end.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I would write it too. Like. I think one of my goals, like not a goal, but like a dream thing for me. I don't want to be a professional, wrestling writer or a story guy, but I would love to just have creative control with just 2 talents and be like, yo, here's the storyline I want to work with you guys. Like I think that'd be so much fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of places probably would. Like I think he should wrestle him because I think it'd be a good match. And here's wrestling could be simple. Here's I say, the only reason like to have a match is either I'm better than you and I can prove it, or I don't like you, or I want the title. That's it. You don't need anything else.
What did you think?
Can't involve, like, the girlfriend and stuff.
Did you
like
see
that.
the my dream booking for Finn Balor for?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I like the 3 double stomps off the top.
Yeah. Well, no, that was Tyler. Mine was, I think, I didn't book the whole match, but I said I think because Finn Balor was throwing some stuff out there. I don't know if you've seen that, Ben. Finn Balor was throwing some stuff out there to Taker, kind of challenging Taker possibly for a Mania. And then I guess they like, Finn, you have a push coming. Taker's not in your wheelhouse. So then Taker put a tweet out saying, "Hey, good luck at against Brock." So Finn has never lost a singles match or as the Demon in WWE NXT at all. That? So going into a singles match, he's kind of undefeated, and he's wrestling Brock. I think, and then every time he does something with the Demon, it's always a little different, or it has a little tweak to it. So I think going in against Brock, I think it'd be cool. The way I would book it is Finn would come out with his Demon, but it would be kind of Undertaker inspired. So when you had the
like a zombie,
like the beep, or like not just it would be the same thing, except instead of like a zombie, it would be like very grayish purple, like old school with new school Taker. Maybe even just like the mouth, it could be just like a graveyard or something.
Like
I think they could do like a wide-eyed, like the clear, like the
or if he when he like kind of like Jeff Hardy, where his eyelids are painted so it looks like his eyes are rolled back.
Like the Undertaker zombie figure that's basically undead.
Yes,
something like that.
But like when his entrance music, it'd be like boof boof dong.
See, that would be like, what's going
dong,
on?
Boom, boom. And the bells of Undertaker.
When the NXT, when he was Jack the Ripper with the chainsaw.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And in New Japan, he was like Anti-Venom, he was Joker, he was Carnage. I mean,
So then he comes out as a Demon. Brock's kind of like, yeah, whatever, like, oh, you think you're Taker or something like that. And then like he kind of beats him up a little bit. He's getting the better of Finn, and he hits him with the F5, and he just like this is your guy. And then Finn does the sit up.
That'd be pretty,
And then Finn just takes over the match. Like I think Finn has to win. Like no run in, no interference.
Yeah,
Finn has to win that impressive.
Interference takes away from it. So I would like him to win, but I don't think he will.
I want him to. If Finn's gonna win, in my opinion, he has to win clean.
Yeah.
Because if you give him the title because Braun Strowman helped him, you ruined his whole push.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, the thing about Finn that is kind of cool is Finn can be beaten. Finn can lose. But when Finn's the Demon, there's something extra to him.
I think he will be.
Yeah.
I mean, he was for that whatever pay-per-view that.
And I like that because I like gimmicks. So I like that. Like when he's the Demon, he's he's not human.
He's supposed to be edgier. Yeah.
Yes.
Not human like PCO.
Yeah. So I that'd be the way to me. I think Brock would. I mean, in my heart, as a wrestling fan, I'm like, there's no way they put the title on this guy. He's never here, and they give it right back to him.
And I was like, that was a big disappointment. It's like, going to UFC is finally gone. It's like, he won the belt again.
Yeah, it's just I
don't believe yet that the champ should be wrestling on Raw every week. But at least
be there,
or every other week.
You know
every
what?
3 weeks.
Roman pissed me off because the way he was booked, and I was like, this guy, he's superhuman. You can't do anything to him. It just annoys me. It's just like he's a rewashed John Cena, Hulk Hogan, and then he left, and I was like, at least he was there.
Yeah, like I said, at least he was there every weekend.
And he worked. You know what I mean? He did every house show. He did everything. He was doing everything right with the kids. I respect. Like it took it for him to leave, and it sucked the way he left. But I was like, you know what? I'm looking forward to come back.
Yeah,
because he was a workhorse.
I hope he can come back.
I do too.
Yeah. I hope he has one new move. Just a new finisher. I was out this whole time. Now
his return. That pop is going to be.
It's going to be insane.
It's going to be. It's going to be incredible.
So. I mean, you beat cancer and come back. I mean, who could be mad? I mean, you have to be the troll of the trolls, like internet.
Yeah, you got to be a real scumbag. The only thing that made me nervous, and I didn't want to say it out loud or publicly at first, is I don't trust WWE sometimes.
Yeah.
And they were trying everything to get him over, but I was like, if you use cancer.
Yeah, you go this low. But once people would find out, they'd be like, oh, they'd really shit on it.
They do stuff with National Cancer Society, so they can't fake that.
And a lot of times they do it, but like, it's like, okay, you do that, but then they show like videos like, look how good we are because we did this. Like, maybe just don't pat yourself on the back too much. Like the tribute with the troops show. Like, usually they're terrible. Like, that's great, you're doing that for the troops, but don't rub in my face that you're doing it for the troops.
Yeah.
That'd be like, hey, I gave money to the SPCA. $100 I gave. And I just kept on about it. Like, you just say, oh, I donated to the SPCA.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting what they're going to do. I'm really looking forward. We're going to talk to about more on Thursday about and then we have another show officially before Rumble. So we have a lot coming up with that. But this is my favorite time. Rumble's my favorite pay-per-view.
I was at the one last year. So
in
Philly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I would love to go to that. I wanted to, but just
that's the first one I was at.
Yeah, it's tight. Money's tight.
Yeah,
I would love to do Mania, but I don't want to. I don't want to do Mania outside. I don't want to sit. I don't want to sit outside.
And I'm like, to get up close to a good seat, you really have to pay. It's gonna be at least $300.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll just watch it on the network.
I want to. If I had a chance, I mean, I would love to do a Mania. Just say I did a Mania.
Yeah.
But I would love to do a Royal Rumble before I do a Mania.
Yeah, like I sat. Was it the first section, then second section up? I was in the second, or maybe it was the beginning of the third. But I could look right at the ring. It was fine. Yeah, I'd like to be a little closer, but it was good enough. But I wouldn't want to be way up here.
No. Where we sat for Hershey was a good spot. We were in the top section, but we were like the balcony looking right at the ring. And Hershey Hershey doesn't have a bad seat.
No,
you can sit
it
anywhere.
doesn't get real high.
Wasn't it Wilkes-Barre, Tony, that we went? That was similar, and then Charlotte Flair came down the stairs.
I thought that was Hershey. No, that was
Wilkes-Barre. Yeah, because that was BU, Fulton, Cantwell.
Wilkes-Barre does not have a bad seat.
No, it doesn't get too high there. I was there for a house show last year.
Yeah, we seen 2
years ago. So
we seen Charlotte when she led the first women's invasion.
Oh, really?
We were literally, when Charlotte came, before she hit the crowd, she walked out and she literally walked from media.
Wow.
It was like right by
the camera away.
Yeah. It was
That's
nuts.
cool.
Yeah.
I met Charlotte when she had the book signing with her, and Ric Flair put her book out. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And it was $30, which is basically you buy the book and you get a picture of Charlotte, and she'll sign the book, and she'll sign. They said we don't know if she'll sign something else, but she was signing anything. I had the Sun Charlotte toy that she signed, so she was super cool, and she looks much better in person, I thought.
Yeah, I think she's a gorgeous girl.
Yeah, I was like, she was there. I was like, she looks pretty hot in person.
Yeah, I think Charlotte's gorgeous. I mean, and I think I wish she would do more. The only thing with the Charlotte gimmick, I wish she would try to do a little more, is I wish she would come out like I'm flashy, like I have money, like I don't like. I wish she was
a little more Ric Flairish.
Yes,
like I always thought, like you're already like she came out and said like. They'll never do it. Like, Ric Flair is always out, I'm bagging all these girls in the hotel room. What if Charlotte said about dudes? Like, how cool would that be? They'll never do it.
I'm bagging these dudes left and right.
Yeah.
I'll look at you, I'll make you cry.
Come into my hotel room. Like, that would be awesome.
No, like if she was just like, I think if they kind of booked her like at EC3 with a woman.
Yeah.
But like,
never did with
like
a girl.
Charlotte doesn't ride in the bus with the talent. Like when she was a heel, like she doesn't get in the bus with the talent. She doesn't sit in the same hotel as
she should come out with her dad of mink coats and everything.
Yeah, like
look at this watch.
Like she takes off like her Gucci purse and just throws out it. I don't need that purse. Like
that purse costs $4,000.
Taking her heels off and chucking them in the crowd.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would like to see that. But this face, they're trying to do Charlotte as a face, like a heel face. She's like an anti-hero.
Heel all the time.
I do too. Like I think even with like Bobby Roode, I think Bobby Roode should be a heel. I don't like him as a face.
Should be. I think he's a generic face.
Yeah,
it's like some people are just cast him.
Bobby Roode could be the next Flair.
I think he's pretty good, but they cast him and he's kind of like boring because he's like he's all right. It's weird. Like they'll see someone and they like what they do, and they'll hire them, and they don't have them do what they
exactly at all what they did. Yeah,
like it's like, what are you doing?
Depending on what time we wrap tonight, I'm actually trying to watch Raw. I haven't even seen it yet.
I watched it on Hulu. They edited a lot out, but it was all right.
From what I heard, the first hour was bad. The second hour was like okay, and then the third hour they said they closed it very well.
Yeah, the 4-way was pretty good, and they showed the women's tag titles. They look fantastic. They look really good.
I don't like that they say tag champions on them.
Yeah, they say tag team.
Like tag team champions. Nice. Like the
segment was stupid. Alexa comes out and she's like, "Here's the tag belts." Then Paul E comes out and like, "What?"
So is the tag? They're going to share the belts between shows?
Because I think the word is when they go to SmackDown, moves to Fox with October, that it's going to be one roster again.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Unless the only way I won't like it is I still think that Raw should have its own. I think they should have two main champions.
Yeah, they can have that and then have everything else switched. Unify the U.S. and Intercontinental, and then have that.
Another thing I would possibly do too is just something I think that they should look into, and I think it would work. And I said this to somebody, and they told me I was crazy, so I'll ask your opinion. So the big thing now, in especially with combat sports, and they're always one step behind combat sports. So the big thing now is interim champions. And double champs, where someone can hold two belts at one time, like two world champ. So hear me out. Intercontinental is one thing, U.S. is another. I think that's fine. You don't need to add another one there. Maybe another secondary belt, like a TV title or something. I think there should be some, because it doesn't hurt to have more people with belts, because then you open more storylines up and stuff. But I think that because now it's going to be one roster, I think it would be cool to have like a champion, and then like the Universal Champion, and then the World Champion, but then have like the main champion. So Brock, so as of right now, Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan are the champion, and when they wrestled at a pay-per-view and it's champion versus champion, Brock Lesnar then moves to the main champion, and then he has to vacate that title back to the show.
Yeah.
So somebody, and then like you have to win the world championship to become the main champion.
Oh, okay, I see where you're going. So that's a little bit different.
It's like it's still great to be the champion, but then you're the champion of like both shows.
Yeah.
And you can travel between any pay-per-view. But the only way that, kind of like Lucha Underground did, you have to earn your way to the championship, then they get the gift of gods.
Yeah, that's how every belt should be. There should be rankings, and like, so and so won, so he moves up, and he's getting this title shot. Like,
but once you win, like if you're like, you can't go for the world championship unless you're the Intercontinental Championship, and then if you're the Intercontinental Champion and lose, like then someone can challenge you for your belt. But if you go and you beat the world champion, now the Intercontinental is vacated. And
kind of like Warrior did.
Yeah. Like I think that'd be a cool way of doing it.
The only thing I don't like is
I agree with that. Yeah.
Sometimes too many belts dilutes belts, because then it's like everybody has a belt.
But I think what they're not too much. I'm just saying add two, like maybe not even the two, just even the one main champion.
Yeah.
But I just think the thing they're lacking now is storylines.
Yeah.
And it seems like the only way you get a storyline push is if you're involved with a title.
Yeah, because they don't. Storylines don't make sense.
Yeah. The only people that are getting storylines right now are the women.
Yeah.
Women's wrestling is phenomenal.
That's driving the WWE right now.
Yeah, the women's drive is killing it right now, because A, they're talented, and B, they're getting good stories made for them.
And who would have thought, like 10 years ago?
Yeah. Like, I hated women's wrestling. I wouldn't watch it.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. When it was like last month when they did that triple women's triple threat ladder match,
it was unbelievable.
Oh my god! It was just like you were watching.
And it closed the show.
Yeah, it was like you were watching like 90s stuff, but it was still good. It was still like PG. No one like really bled from what I saw. But you're getting all the wild batshit crazy stuff.
There was a couple spots in that where I think Charlotte did a swanton. Or someone did a swanton. It was either on Charlotte or it was on Becky, and it was just her tailbone hit like the ribs, her ribs.
Oh.
So you know how you take the swanton, you try to land your body on their body, and they landed right on her body, and I was like, her ribs are broke.
There was the one match. I don't know if it was that one. It was someone's on the top rope and they're throwing the iconoclast. It's called. They're throwing them down on top of a ladder. And it was like. I was like, oh, that's a tough bump. I think it was Becky took it. I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah, Becky.
I think it was Asuka. Threw Becky down, or maybe it was Shaw, I forget.
And Becky let it flat
on the ladder.
There was actually recently a really crazy spot in TNA, table spot with the women. Yeah, it was pretty crazy to watch. I don't know who was involved, but it was bad. But we are running pretty long here.
Yeah, we went long.
And we're literally going to talk about all this on Thursday.
However you want to wrap it up.
But so
I'll talk about anything. You ask me anything. Doesn't matter to me.
AMA.
What are you looking? We'll end with back to wrestling here with the Outbreak. What are you looking forward to with your match coming up at Wild Child?
Being able to wrestle someone that could do all kinds of stuff. Wrestle all kinds of styles, and I think it'd be a really good match. And there's 2 or 3 falls, so
I think it'd be a really good match. Yeah. Can you see it getting goofy at all? Because you guys kind of both have a goofy personality, or you
maybe
think
like here and there a little bit, but for the most part, it'll be like a serious match. Like it won't be strong style. But it should be a really.
It would be
interesting.
Match. It would be interesting. Just going back to how I would book it. Well, Wild Child, obviously, he's getting big on social media. Where he's serious about it. He wants that strap. He wants the title. And maybe he comes out with his personality and is happy, and you're kind of the same thing. Like, for even being serious business, you as a person are not very serious all the time. But it would be a nice evolution of both of your characters, where you guys kind of come out and you respect each other mutually. You have a respect for each other. You kind of took his title without taking it because you had some help. So. Storyline wise is, he feels that you're a good wrestler, but you didn't kind of get him. You didn't get the best of him, and you say, well, a win's a win. I'll take it how I can get it. But I defended it in a ladder match that you couldn't be a part of. So you kind of have that cool little story there. but then, so you kind of come in and you guys are, you kind of put that. Maybe by the first fall or second fall, it goes from like maybe the first 2 falls you guys are kind of being goofy and doing your thing, and then you're like, oh, this last fall means something, and then you guys go for it. Like you kind of break that. We're not here to joke around. It's not being funny. Like I'm not here to be like cute, or I'm not here to be funny. Like let's get, and then like it's a battle. You know what I mean?
It should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a great match.
I want to be like Okada and have these epic title defenses.
Yeah,
so. That's why I lose it.
That match is going to be. You guys have the if they let you run wild and let you do what you're going to do talent wise, what you used to. That's the match of the night.
Yeah, there should be some other good ones, but yeah.
Yeah, the whole card looks good, but I'm looking forward to that match. I just think you two are very, very talented. You have great looks, and
I think we have a chemistry in the ring too.
Yes, 100%.
Wrestle pretty good together.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people that get in there and just like, nope, it's just not working. It's just, I don't know, a clash of styles or something. But yeah, it's fun and easy to wrestle him, and he's good. So,
have you ever talked to possibly getting your tag team partner from the other stuff?
Yeah, I did.
To come to Outbreak.
And they did try. They said, "Hey, can you bring him in?" And it was his wedding anniversary, so he obviously couldn't make it.
So it's not like it's out of the question. It's something
it's something. And it's like there's a bunch of guys that I would like to bring in, but I don't want to be like, I'm the champ, book this guy, book that guy. I don't want to throw weight around, but I just want to be like, hey, maybe we should bring
this guy a shot.
Yeah. But I don't want to come in, because some guys will do that. They'll come in and they try and get, put too much of their shit.
I want the Brothers of Pain to come back. I don't know if you've seen on social media, I was kind of...
Brothers of Pain?
They were the Pain Brothers, but then they went to the Rednecks.
Oh, yeah, I think, they were
so
good.
The one guy was hurt and he couldn't wrestle anymore, and then he got cleared, now he's back.
Okay.
So they're back to being a tag team again. They're wrestling from other promotions. Mm-hmm. They put a post up, they said, like, hey, whoever wants to book us, we're doing this again. And I was like, come back to Outbreak. And they're like, we would love to. And I tagged Outbreak. I said, make this happen. And they said, we're for it.
Oh,
so hopefully they come back. That would be awesome.
It's weird. And then once, like, people, like, you'll share a picture and the crowd's full and people are like, hey, that's been successful, then tons of wrestlers are sending messages, so they might be like overwhelmed with oh, okay, I want to wrestle, and sometimes you don't know who's good and who's bad, so like it probably is hard, I would say.
100%. And you can't take everybody, but then you want to take some people that are decent.
Yeah, you don't want anyone that's a
I'm bummed that Grimm's not going to be there. Grimm's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
House has no opponent.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
When he did that suicide dive, I was
he's a big dude.
Yeah, I did not see that coming at all.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so I was actually really excited to see him against Ed House, and then he backed out. I'm trying to see who else on that card.
Yeah, I don't know what. I forget. It's Ace Austin versus Killian McMurphy. That should be a pretty good one.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah, Ace Styles has all the momentum in the world. I mean, when you have a page that's literally dedicated to indie wrestling, and you make that page, like I follow a page on and it's literally called Independent Wrestling, and they show all the indie stuff. Mm-hmm. And he was like the featured video.
Really?
Yeah,
nice. That's awesome.
So he's getting his exposure, and it's cool to say like, hey, he's going to be at Outbreak soon. So
yeah, I know. Cortez Castro. I always say his name because I want to say Ricky Reyes all the time because that was his name. He's wrestling Ian Bush.
He's a good dude. I mean, he's
very quiet, keeps to himself, but he's a good wrestler. So there's a couple good matches. I think there's a tag match for the with the Bad Street titles, which is going to be 6-man tag titles. Mm-hmm. There's further than that.
I think, are they doing the super heavyweight title or whatever?
Yeah, that's the Intimidator title.
The Intimidator. I'm sorry if I call it the super heavyweight. The Intimidator title. Yeah.
And I don't know who's in that.
Yams won. And it would be Yams versus
Hog. Man, who is it? I forget as well
too.
Be pretty good.
Yeah, Yams is a good worker.
And then the show got moved because with the Temple Fire Company and the veterans had some scheduling where they double booked the building. So obviously don't want.
Where's that now?
Birdsboro Community Center, which is right past Reading. Do you know when you go 422? Yeah, 422 South, and there's that Walmart, and there's the KFC Taco Bell combo.
I think so. Yeah,
it's like right past Mount Penn. So you turn there, and Birdsboro's behind that. It's
okay, to me, I'm happy it's there and not Temple, because Temple's far.
This is a little bit farther.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. It's not Temple, Philly. Temple, PA. It's Temple, Reading.
Oh, okay.
Different areas.
Yeah. I thought it was the
no, not that.
That was a far drive.
No.
But yeah, I'm cool with it. I'll definitely be there. I look forward to it.
It should be good. So it got moved. It's still the same time, same day.
I think what I don't want to say it. Maybe I won't say it on air just in case I don't do it, and then I'm a schmuck for doing it. But I definitely want to do something for our viewers. for Outbreak. Maybe we'll do like a ticket thing. I'm thinking, get like a couple tickets, order a ticket or two, and because when we went last time, I had an extra ticket. I actually gave tickets away.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So I like doing stuff like that. So maybe as like a show, we'll chip in a couple bucks, and then we'll give some tickets away to go to Outbreak. And then even if the person can't make it, we'll provide transportation. I'll pick you up and take you to the show. It's a good time. You can hang out with us, and then maybe after the show, they can see you. And
you can hold the belt. You can get a picture of the belt. Guys, tell me, can I have a picture? I'm like, like, do you want to hold the belt? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
so I hold them all the time.
Maybe we'll set something up, because I definitely like working with. I like maybe building a relationship with Outbreak and helping them out. Yeah. I like the local stuff. But yeah, we'll end it on that. But thank you so much for Andy coming in and having fun. We'll probably be here for a while yet and talking.
Put myself over.
Yeah, the promo. I had a blast writing your promo.
That's great.
Like that's video game playing, cross dressing, looking better than the girls and making them cry.
I am. I am cuter than most girls in this area anyway.
That's why you single.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not hotter than me, I can't date you. Sorry.
Is that a wig, or do you straighten your hair?
No, that's the wig, because like my hair lost a little bit, which sucks, but I like that long flowing hair. Yeah. So that's a wig. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very nice wig. It was only $25.
Yeah.
And of course, when I'm She-Hulk, like it's a green wig. So
yeah. But thank you so much for coming in, and this will air on Friday. So and then you'll definitely be on for the Thursday show, and we'll get you on for that, and we'll have some fun. All right. Mm-hmm. So I'll plug a little bit. If you have anything I missed, let me know. So check him out on his podcast with his buddy Andrew. Amazing podcast. If you liked any of the conversation we had here today about the comic books, video games, movies, wrestling, his podcast covers it all.
This is metal. We didn't even touch metal. So that's
we didn't even get into music. I learned something today. I didn't know you were a musician, so that's cool. Yeah. I learned that. But yeah, check out Call It in the Power Ring. I share it all the time. Every time they put an episode on, we put it on. I'm going to start sharing them in the Tornado Tag podcast group. You have to search
for Podcast Pennsylvania. That's the network we're on.
Yes.
So just search that in iTunes or Stitcher or whatever, Spotify will come up.
So Podcast of Pennsylvania is very similar. With we do our shows too. So we're everything's under the Interviews with Everyday People, and then you look like Call It the Power Ring, episode 1.
Yeah, as long as you subscribe to the feed, it will say, and then there will be Shows from a Hat where they review shows on Powerbomb TV, which I think they just changed the name. It's like WWE Network, but for independent wrestling.
Nice.
Yeah, which I have a bunch of matches on there. So they review it. They just pick a show randomly, and they watch it and review it. So that's
really?
Great. Yeah.
How much is that subscription?
I think it's $10 a month. Yeah,
that's very.
I know the guy that runs it, so he's at the show. He's at True Wrestling. I was at last, so that's gonna be up.
Cool.
I guess if it's not up now, it's gonna be up soon in a few days.
Yeah, so let's check out Powerbomb TV.
Yeah, it's Powerbomb.tv.
Powerbomb.TV.
I think they're changing the name, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, definitely check that out.
All kinds of independent wrestling from all over.
Yeah, $10 a month. You can't beat that if you want to watch local stuff and support that. Yeah. Definitely check that out. Outbreak is on there as well too. I remember them out.
Yeah, Outbreak is just so the next show will be the first show on there. True Wrestling, which I just wrestled for, is on there. GSW, which I wrestled for years, was all the shows.
Is PPW on there?
No.
PPW
is like they do their own thing.
They do their own thing.
Yeah, well, they do have their one local show on Harrisburg. I think it's WYLN. It's like the local TV, and it's Sundays at 8.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't have cable, so I will never see
either,
that.
So I don't.
But yeah, and then the podcast, Call It in the Power Ring on the Pennsylvania Podcast Network. Mm-hmm. Check him out at all your local indie shows. I'm sure he posts every show he's going to be on.
I share the flyer. So
yeah, so the flyer, and then he has the championship fight, 2 out of 3 falls against Damien the Wild Child. What's it?
Smith.
I knew it was. I knew it was S. That's going to be a great match. I look forward to that very much. So they're both really 2 good guys. That won it. That won it hard. True, so let's go for that, and then just check out Outbreak Wrestling. Check them out. They're really cool people. They've been helping us out a lot, promoting us and getting it out there. So we really appreciate their love. And is there anything else out there you want to plug? Or?
That's about it. I mean, do that.
Drink Pepsi.
If you want to, buy Pepsi if you want to. I get paid whether you drink it or not, so it doesn't matter to me.
Keep it in business.
Yeah. Go to Hooked on Comics in Myerstown, Pennsylvania if you need your comics. So
yeah,
there you go.
Video game wise, give some people some stuff you're into right now. Tell them to look out.
I'm almost done the Pokemon game. I beat the Elite Four last night, and I got 120 Pokemon. This is Let's Go Eevee for Nintendo Switch. So I want to finish that up, and then I'm back to God of War for PlayStation 4 and beat that.
Nice.
That's on my list. I Red Dead, I want to play that, but I didn't buy it yet.
Yeah,
I don't want to get too behind. Because you get too behind, I have a bunch of games.
I have my catalog 2, is crazy.
So, yeah, I got Parasite 1, and then I also have Final Fantasy 6 with the green hair girl. Is that the green haired one? 5 or 6? It's for I got the Famicom version.
Supposedly the whole Final Fantasy backlog is going to come back. It's going to come out for Switch and Xbox now.
Yeah. It's 10 and 10.2 are announced for Xbox.
Yeah,
which are fantastic. I like them. A lot of people shit on, but I like them.
And check out when you obviously this will happen before, but when on the actually no, it won't, because you're not going to debut until the next nerd show. So I hate that I call it the nerd show, but things that weren't cool, we might change that. It might get changed. I don't
talk about magic cards.
Things that were not cool, things that weren't cool in high school may get changed just because there's so much going on there. It's definitely not going to be hodgepodge.
Things.
Yeah.
The next Things podcast.
Pop culture hodgepodge.
Yeah.
To be determined on that one. But yeah, Andy did a custom mod of his Switch.
Oh yeah,
and made it. So we're going to show that off too. So we'll look forward to that, and we're going to do some cool stuff here, and we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Next interview will be Michael Ban coming up. He's a photographer.
Oh, okay.
He photographies. He takes photos of some very, very attractive women.
Ooh.
Very, very
what
voluptuous.
A terrible job, eh?
Yeah, I told him if you ever need someone to hold a light, baby oil, I'm your man. He's such a cool dude. We've been chatting a lot on the.
Does he do like the bombshell pinup style?
Yes.
Like that.
So I'm going to show you.
That's fantastic.
The girls he takes photos of are literally like so attractive, tattoos everywhere. Very curvy, like just and then
I like that the 50s style.
It's
like
the best way I can describe it.
Page.
It's rock and roll pinup tattoo girls.
That sounds fantastic.
So that would be my description. That's
I like
not.
that, and I also like nerdy girls too. Tina Fey. Well, I didn't even mention her once in this whole podcast. I love her. I love the nerdy girls. Yeah, Tina Fey, Liz Lemon.
I'd be that guy.
So I'm just gonna show Andy a picture here of a girl that he showed me pictures of that I'm a very big fan of.
Oh dear.
We're not gonna say the name. We'll wait for the podcast. But just tell me what. Look at this.
Well, look at her. Yeah, she's hot. I don't like the thing in her mouth. it's not a penis. But yeah, she's hot.
Yeah, and then but look at the now. Just from
I don't know her obviously.
Look at the like that bathroom.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
So like that's
unique. Yeah, it's all cool.
All his stuff looks like 50s, 60s.
Oh,
like
yeah.
All those backdrops.
I have to follow him.
Yeah,
now, is that his name or is that her name?
That's his name. She's actually a photographer as well. She takes really good photographs. But yeah, she's awesome. His name is Victor Devil Bliss.
Oh, okay.
And then he has a.
Is he related to Alexa?
I don't know. And then his magazine is called Retro Lovely.
Oh, okay.
But it's really, really cool.
Okay, the one guy that wrestles PPW, his girlfriend, I believe, is on there.
Yeah.
I don't know her name though. I think she might have a stage name for that.
Yeah, but he takes photographs of like some really, really attractive girls, and I'm looking forward to talking to him.
What a job.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to talking to him and find out a lot about him and diving in now. But yeah, so that's what we got coming up. And then February, we have some really, really cool stuff coming up. So February, we're really diving into some people stories.
Cool.
So the first couple months, I did friends, family, people that have stuff going on, like your wrestling podcast.
Unique things they do.
Yeah, unique things. Now we're really diving into some people that have they've been through some stuff.
So the exact opposite of this podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I
spilled chocolate milk one time.
Yeah, the Weird Al behind the music where he's like, I've never been arrested, I never wrecked a car, I've never cheated on anyone. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about for an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, we have some people that they've gone through some stuff. Another thing I want to plug real quick, I'm actually going to go Friday night. If you guys want to join me, it's completely up to you if you're not going Friday. There's a coffee shop in Pottsville.
Yeah, Pressed. Like I said, I was there. The coffee was really good. I got a vanilla flavored latte. And it was
I'm not a coffee drinker.
Really?
Yeah. So
there's hot chocolate and there's teas.
All right. Too. So we'll do that. So it's literally free to go in, and you pay a donation, whatever you can do.
Oh wow!
And it's kind of like our podcast, where people come on and just tell their stories, except like an open mic form.
Yeah, no, the coffee is not free. The coffee you got to pay for.
I thought they said the coffee's free. You just pay a donation.
No, the coffee has price. Maybe there's like a special thing for that. Like if I go and like I want a cappuccino or whatever, then there's a whole like menu and stuff. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. And then the same with the crepes and they have more food. I don't know everything they have. Yeah. That's like, but they might have something with the books, and I'm not really sure how that'll.
So if you're watching this Friday at 12 when it goes live. I will be there. I don't know if anyone else wants to join me. You're more
You know
welcome.
what? I think I'm going to join you on that.
I will be there. I'm going to leave work and shoot right over. So I'll share the page. Check them out. I'm not 100% sure.
Books.
Yeah,
that's what's called on Facebook. And just it's Macatango Street. I don't know the address.
No, that you're talking about a different one then.
Oh, are we talking about a different one?
No, so the one I'm talking about is called Culture. The Culture. Oh my God, I cannot.
Well, then I have just uploaded a different coffee shop. Well, that's a new coffee shop that I know of. So
yeah, no, this is. Let me just. I don't want to say the wrong thing here.
Okay, so it's not Pressed. So, but check out Pressed if you want to, because it is good.
Yeah, Press is cool too. I've been hearing good things about
local
that.
Business, which is cool.
Yes, always support the local business.
Mom and pop, I'd always rather go to mom and pop, like a deli or anything like that. As
Culture to Culture, and it's called the Conversation Cafe.
Okay.
So yeah, so I did a whole thing on the other day. So if you're actually looking for it, I actually did a whole thing. I did a live video, so that's up there. But it's called the company's Culture to Culture, and it's called the Conversation Cafe.
Okay.
And it's like they do a half-hour music, and then they do like open mic where people can go up and talk about whatever the topic is that night.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think the conversation that night is called "What is the Church," and they're going to talk about people's, I guess, religious views and stuff.
Yeah.
But they do ones on like addiction, they do ones on depression, anxiety, you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and people just go up and share their story, which is exactly what I love, because people talking definitely helps. So definitely we're gonna go check them out on Friday. And now we're gonna wrap. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Andy, thank you so much again, brother.
Problem.
This guy he works a full-time job. He's a wrestler. He does a lot. He does his own podcast, and he's gracious enough to join our team here and help us out. So we really appreciate your time, and we definitely know Ben can attest that we demand a lot here. We do a lot of different shows, so we appreciate you coming in when you can and helping us out. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys soon. See ya.
That was fun. He's just talking so.